not water. Yes, you see, I can see you couldn't understand what I was talking about. Shall I tell you the reason for that? I'll tell you seriously, the reason for that. A lot of you West Indians, you can't speak the Queen's language. You don't know how to talk. I'm telling you. I'll tell you that for nothing. A lot of you West Indians, you can't talk at all. I'm telling you. For example, my wife's sister, she's married to a West Indian. And this man, he keeps on ringing up the house. Last Christmas, ringing up the house, he said, "Excuse me, did anybody ask for me?" What the hell are you talking about? The word is ASK. Why you even put an H and an X in it? It's so stupid. I said, no, there's nobody asking anything here. Thank you. You see, that is so important. I'll tell you something for naughty. I'll tell you for naughty. It's very important to learn the language. And when you express yourself, the language is what makes it easier to seduce the woman. You can caress the woman with the language. I'm telling you, you know how to use the language to caress the woman. I'm telling you. Do you know how to pay a compliment to a woman? You know how to compliment? Well, I will make you even better. I will tell you. Now look at this gorgeous young lady sitting here. Just take a look at her. I'm telling you to look at her. What's the matter with you? Look at her. Take a look at her. Keep looking at her. Now, I want you to repeat after me. Look into her face. Repeat after me. Oh my goodness gracious. I must be dreaming. I must be dreaming. I can't believe that you are sitting here.
I can't believe you're sitting here.
Looking so gorgeous and delicious. I think I love you. I think we should get married straight away. Thank you very much. Congratulations. I tell you, thank you. But the way, if you want to win, I'll tell you this for nothing. If you want to win any woman, the best way you can do it, put on the Isaac Hayes. This man, Isaac Hayes. This man is the big dada. You put on Isaac Hayes. I stand accused of loving you too much. Yes, I'm trying to say something. Okay, remember, oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe it. You're so gorgeous and delicious. Thank you.
Peace and love, my brethren. Peace and love. Peace and love. Yeah, my name is Babla. Babla, yes. Yes, I used to live in Babylon, you know, but I used to be a teacher in Babylon. I used to teach every Sunday at Speaker's Corner, you know. I decided to leave because I have to relate to I culture, I history, I background, I identity, you know. And also I broke up with my girlfriend, you know. I broke up with her because she was taking too much liberty, man. I had to tell her we finished. You know the last liberty she take? She go on and get engaged to another man. I said, well, I'm sorry, darling. You and me finished now. You had your chance. It's done. But the other reason I leave from Babylon is too damn cold up there, man. Too damn cold. You know, even in the summer, all you get is a little piece of sun like that pouring into the clothes. As soon as the English people see this, they throw off all their clothes. They're going lying in the sun, going on about, oh, isn't it hot? Do you like the whole weather? Isn't it hot? It's very hot, isn't it? Just like in your country. Just like in your country. It's very hot. I can't stand that kind of foolishness, man. So I just come from Babylon, you know? But you see some very strange things in Babylon, you know. Sometimes you're walking on the street in the winter and you notice dogs got on clothes. Jacket and sweater and all sorts of things. It's all I could do not to look upon the dog and go, morning. But the real reason that I leave from Babylon, you know, is because of the crime wave, you know. Every time that somebody do something bad like chop up an old lady and eat chili chips, at the end they always say, and a young black man was seen in the area with a gold tooth and a scar on his face and dreadlocks. He didn't have nothing to do with it, but we got to persecute him anyway. So anyway, I couldn't stand on. I leave from Babylon and gone to Europe to visit my spa. Now, if you think things are bad in Babylon, boy, you have a check for Europe, you know. Compared to Europe, Babylon is just a cocktail snack, may I tell you. My friend, he did live in Germany. I went to visit him over there. Boy, the Germans, that tell you, man, them is bad, bad, bad. The Germans, you know how they treat the brethren, the great magnificent Jesse Owens them years ago? Well, man, there was only being nice to him that time, you know? They even developed a special wave they used to do for him. You know, they used to go, all right, Jesse, we like you running, yes. We like you running, Jesse, yeah. We like you running. We love you running, Jesse. Now run the hell out of the damn country. Get out of it, man. Something always puzzling me, you know. Something always puzzling I, you know. You know, when the Germans was doing the wickedness to the Jews, it took the Europeans 5 years for them to stop it, right? When they was doing the wickedness to us in slavery days, it took them 400 years. What was them extra 395 years for? What sort of time they was working on? British rail time? Don't worry, we'll get there in the end. Yeah, man. European unity. So I decided anyway to leave, you know. My next destination is going to be Africa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going back to Africa, to the cradle of civilization, to the beginning of mankind. I'm going to commune with the forces that gave I and I my identity. The only thing stopping I and I from going there straight away is you can't get the damn cricket on the television. As soon as they start to get the cricket down there, I'm gone. Well, I don't want to keep you Babylon people any longer, you know. What I can do now, I don't want to make you jealous, but we can lie upon the beach. I can have my cocktail and read the great poetry of the one and only Mr. Derek Walcott. Murder! Peace and love, my brethren. Peace and love. As you know, my name is Babla. Babla, that's right. I used to teach up at Speaker's Corner, yes? But I leave from Babylon and gone back to Africa, yes, yes. All right, I haven't leave, I'm still here, but my spirit has gone back to Africa. I am here because I've still got to sort out some business, yes. I'm talking about my compensation, yes. I call it compensation, they're calling it gyro. I said to them, listen, when I went down there, they're asking me questions, telling me, say, I have to fill in form, and I'm not entitled to anything because I've not been in the country for 2 years. I said to them, listen to me, my compensation is not based on filling in form. It is based on 400 years of teeth in my people's teeth. Yes, yes. It is based on disrupting my culture and of having the cheek to blame my Adrian for the difficulty economic problem of Babylon system caused. Yes! Give me my gyro. Otherwise, I can't pay for my sofa from World of Leather. Thank you. If you have thieved somebody's thing, you have not got no right to complain if they let you give you some token little monies. Thank you. So much things in Babylon is against we, telling we we're not welcome here. For example, racist attack, yes. Racist police and court system, yes. And stupid black people in East Ender, yes. Yes, my brethren, yes. And as for those black taxi cab driver, if you was a black man in this town, you can't get a cab to stop for you late at night, I'm telling you. It's better they're driving around with the orange light on the cab. It's better if they add little swastika. Yes. Because so much of them is little Nazi, yes. They're calling themselves taxi cab, better they call themselves London Panzer Division, yes. That is what I'm talking about, my Adrians. That is the sort of things that we have to deal with. Now, some of our Adrian are embarrassing us, yes. Some of us are being embarrassed by our Adrian. I'm sorry I have to talk about this. I'm talking about Mr. Jackson. Yes, Mr. Jackson. So-called Adrian, singing about, it does not matter if you are black or white. Do not insult the Nubian people, Mr. Jackson. If it does not matter if you are black or white, how come your skin look like you are bathing in flour? How come your hair is straighter than Sammy Davis Jr.? And how come your nose look like you have teeth from some little girl dolly? Yes. Yes. I'm telling you. That's the sort of thing you have got to watch out for, yes.
Now, when Mr. Jackson come to Babylon, he's stopping in the Dorchester Hotel, yes, and he's got some doctor for emergency room in case of emergency, in case he start to turn black, I suppose, yes. Yes. I'm telling you, you've got to read your history and read your culture in case you become a tragedy like Mr. Jackson, so desperate not to turn black, but you have to marry Elvis Presley's daughter, yes. Anyhow, I'm getting married, yes. Because I have met a sister, yes. A beautiful Nubian princess, yes. And we are going to have our hygiene and go back to Africa, where we should be, yes. But I say I've met her, I've seen her in a sofa shop in Paddington. And I've been watching her, yes. And I can tell from the way she keeps looking away from me, and she feels the same way. So as soon as we get married, we're going to leave from here. I'm going to get my gyro, I'm going to pay off on my sofa and leave from here and go to Africa where I should be with my Adrian. Peace and love, one love.
Now you see, the Lord, he's a very forgiving Lord, you know. But still, our mission is only one thing. And what it is? It is to mash up Lucifer. Mash up Lucifer, that's what we have to do. Mash him up. Yes. Not just a little bit. You have to mash him up good, make him go down on the ground, start bawling and crying. Put your foot on his neck and squeeze it down. Yes. Mash up Lucifer good, yes. And how can you do that? How can you mash up Lucifer? I will tell you. You can mash him up by not drinking his drink, and going in his nightclub, and doing all them dirty, disgusting, nasty sort of dancing you just do, you know, when you're whining. With your dirty, disgusting, nasty thing, holding people like that and going out. Stop doing it! You are disgusting. It is shameful the way some of you behave, yes? And some of the young ladies as well have got something to say to you. I notice some of you, you're walking about, your skirt is all, you know. Your skirt is all up and tight and everything, you know. That's for your blouse, man.
Okay, greetings to one to one. Welcome to the Jam Master Show. So we're here to give the truth, not but the truth and the absolute truth. And we're hearing a lot of the great man Felix Dexter. You know, he's a great talent. And we lost him due to, I think it was cancer, in fact, about 2-3 years ago. So we just playing someone, Felix Dexter, as you know, is a great talent in the community. So first, I want to big up to Ragga D for a fantastic show. You know, he does his style already. Turn it inside out, turn it around, and give it some mix and blends flavor. And you know, he's a serious man when it comes to music. So again, the Jam Master Show. And you know, the big event was going to take place on the 27th of October. And that's Saturday, the Speaker of the Year Award. And big event, regenerating the family and the genius of the black child. And the speaker, international speaker, is Sarah Sethi, and he been a main speaker from the United States, straight from Detroit. And we do have Edison, Dr. Abu, and also the one himself, Jammers. See? And this is going to take place at the Bernie Grant Center, again the 27th October 2018, and showtime starts 7 p.m. so people be there from 6, so we need to start 7 p.m. sharp to 11, and the tickets are £15, early bird tickets. So if you book your tickets for the box office, which is 02083655450. I repeat 02083655450. 365 5450. And there's stools available. So stools. Number to ring for stools is 07375 449 318. I repeat, 07375 449 318. And this event is sponsored by Galaxy, SLR Radio, Bliss Radio, the People's Verses, and Find Your Voice. And again, as I said, it'll be at the Bernie Grant Art Centre. That's Tottenham Town Hall. And it's Approach Road, Tottenham Town Hall Approach Road, N15 4RX. So the big event was taking place, the Speakers of the Year Award, and that's at the Bernie Grant Centre. And also this Saturday, our roads lead to the fun day at the Recreation Centre. That's at White Hart Lane, and there'll be funds, there'll be treasure hunt, and it's just more fun and game. Please come, have a picnic, bring stuff to share, man. Ones and ones still, and come and full joy. So that's from 12 to quite late to about 7. That's at White Hart Lane. Again, I want to big up Anne, who's been working hard behind the scene to promote that event, as well as Matthew, Rakida, that's the belly dancing. I haven't pronounced your name correctly. And then many other people like S giving out behind the scene as well. Also, Jammers is also working hard behind the scene. Quite a few people. So that's taking place this Saturday. And there's so much things going on. I don't know if I can let people know what's happening, because next week at I think this is on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken. That's at Parkview Academy. I've got some information there I'm supposed to read out. So just give me a second. I know on the 6th of October, that's right. Black History Month, Community Fair. And the time is from 12 to 4. And it's celebrating African Caribbean culture. This is going to take place at Parkview Academy. I know the Maynard Academy is going to be there, do the presentation. No Jammers were doing some workshop around etymology. I know about words. There'll be a drama workshop with BAP, so there'll be performance. So again, that's at the Parkview, and the time is from 12 to 4. See, and on the, let me see, this is on the 13th of October. Sorry, the last one I told about, that's on the 6th of October. That's the Black History Month Community Fair at Parkview Academy. Repeat myself, the 6th of October, and the time's from 12 to 4 at Parkview Academy. This one's on the Saturday, 30th of October, and that's from 12 to noon. It's at the West India Cultural Centre, which is 9 Clarendon Road, Hornsey N8. I'm just looking at the postcode. I can't see the postcode too good from where I am, but I have to read out. Put my glasses on, I'm fine. But the speakers the guest speakers will be Vasco Stevenson, Sister Kendaki will be talking about Vasco Stevenson will be talking about prostate cancer. Sister Kendaki we're talking about fibroids. Sister Elizabeth will be talking about mental health. Lyndon will be talking about diabetes. And Lisa will be talking about obese folks, most folks around young people. So this is we call Your Health Matters, and it's Health Awareness Day. And there'll be poetry with prizes, raffle. So if you want to stall's only £10. The number is 0208 881 5881. I repeat, 0208 881 5881. Okay. And this event is sponsored by Peppers and Spice. Only £1 admission to come in. So tables are £10. And there's two-sided tables. They're £10 and £15. You want a bigger table, it's £15. See? So, and that's again on the Saturday, 13th of October. So we'll play a little more of Felix Dexter. Respecting a call from Cratty Clyde. As you know, he's a man who's got all of information and knowledge.
Friday, the comedian and actor had suffered from myeloma, a type of bone marrow cancer. Reports said he was 52. Colleagues and peers used Twitter to praise the St. Kitts-born Londoner, with comedian David Baddiel mourning a real loss to comedy. He came to prominence in the flagship black comedy The Real McCoy and later performed for a season with the Royal Shakespeare Company. Fellow comedian Sean Hughes wrote on Twitter, So sad to hear about the truly wonderful Felix Dexter passing away. I hope you can feel the love in the comedy community. Fela. Rip. Bill Bailey wrote, Very sad news about my old friend Felix Dexter. A brilliant comedian, a superb comic actor, a lovely man I feel privileged to have known. Talented, articulate performer. Once named Time Out Comedian of the Year, Dexter also featured in iconic BBC comedies The Fast Show and Absolutely Fabulous. More recently, he played 3 of the main roles in BBC Two's sketch show Bellamy's People and is currently appearing in Citizen Khan. His close friend, BBC Radio London presenter Eddie Nestor, who acted alongside Dexter for 3 years in The Real McCoy, said, It's a sad day. It's a really sad day. I went to see him and we talked and we laughed. And we laughed really hard. This is somebody who's been diagnosed with a terminal illness and you find yourself laughing really hard. Belly laughs. He added, We've lost a talented, intelligent, articulate performer who could touch, who could reach out. Before entering comedy, Dexter studied law, something he said helped him deal with hecklers. He named Billy Connolly and delayed American comics Richard Pryor and Bill Hicks among his influences, and remained on the stand-up circuit throughout his career. Later he featured in long-running staples Have I Got News You and Grumpy Old Men, as well as the influential Knowing Me Knowing You with Alan Partridge. As an actor, he had parts in Casualty and The Bill and appeared in The West End alongside Christian Slater.
Can I really say what an absolutely marvellous idea I think it is to be involved in this live television link-up thingy yet again. And can I really say, honestly, I think it's such a marvellous idea to see so many Afro-Caribbean people gathered together doing our ting, as we say in our patois. I'm feeling awfully bushed at the moment, or should I say mash up, because I was raving last night, you know, and, well, you see, a whole heap of my spars come my way, and, well, we mash up the place. Oh, yes, the place is totally rammed. Serious red block. My spars really know how to enjoy themselves when they want to. So, anyhow, must be well gone 11 o'clock before they chip. I actually went and danced myself later, because I was trying to meet a sister, you see. It's been quite some time since I've been with a sister. Must be 1, 2, Well, actually, I've never been with a sister. I shouldn't actually be talking about this, you see, because I'm actually married to Camilla. We have 2 delightful children, or Pickney, if you prefer. Abigail and Alexander.
We have someone live. Greetings.
Greetings, Dougie. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. How are you keeping? You good?
Oh, yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
Okay, fantastic. So I want people to know we have Cratic Clive on the line. This is going to phone in, who has a wealth of information and knowledge. And he was at the event Monday just gone, talking about certain herbs you can use to overcome health challenge, especially around cancer. And he is a phenomenal individual. So we want to go straight to the chase, Cratic Clive, because, we want everybody to know who's there listening to you that they must take their pen and paper, because, you're like a gold dust to us, You're like gold, man, you're very...
Respect that,
yeah,
respect
man,
that, Dougie.
Yeah,
respect that, Dougie. And same for you, for putting on such a lovely, lovely event, I enjoy, full joy it,
Yes, sir.
Good to see a lot of people turn out, because even though it was during the daytime, people had the time, people take off from work or whatever, and they were there, enjoying, and, lovely, lovely, lovely full joy event.
Well, I want to go straight to the cheers and let people know what he was talking about Monday, yeah?
Yes, well, Monday, my talk was supposed to be on cancer, and I didn't really, the time didn't permit to go really deep into cancer and the problems and the answer to cancer. But in time, we will get there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But I would like to read a bit of just a part of a poem that I wrote, which will also talk about cancer. It was part of the PowerPoint, but we couldn't get a chance to get into it. But I'll read a little, but I won't be a lot. And it's about shelf life. It goes like this. The Creator did not create food for shelf life. Food was created for our life and longevity. Shelf life food is man-made scheme based on capitalistic system. Shelf life means preservative, change to the natural order of how we're supposed to eat to live. Nature have its own expiration date built in for food, yet it's man that pushes these boundaries for more and more currencies. Shelf life foods as a ways of recreating food through technology to suit the financial bottomless pit of the scrupulous tycoons. Biochemists manipulate food using synthetic colors and synthetic preservative for shelf life. People rely on biochemists and their production lines and fail to realize the criminal aspect of slow poisoning and death to their vital organs until it's too late. I am not into shelf life food at all. Give me the food straight from nature with no plastic bags or bottles. It is hard to avoid this in this so-called modern society. Polluted springs and streams had led to the bottling of nature's precious gift. Water in plastic bags and cans. Oh, how foolish is our demands. Nature and the Creator knows best for us, and shelf-life food is not one of them. So I leave it like that, yeah? There's more to this poem.
Yeah.
But this is one of the issues that we're having when it comes on to cancer and the proliferation of cancer and all of the sickness that we're having. We're taking food out of its natural state and making them unnatural. And so people are suffering because of this so-called fast pace that we're having. The faster the pace is, the faster the death.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's why, and you've said it, and many people said that we need to go back to nature and look at the go to live food. When we talk about live food now, we're talking about food was God created. God didn't make a mistake, in terms of the food from the the fruits and the nuts and the what's natural, nature.
Yes.
Go back to that, because we can't go wrong. because the food we're eating now is mostly fast food. What's really and processed food and etc. was destroying us, you know, and thing. So one of the things we need to look at, Cathy Clyde, is that when we talk about herbs, right? I know you did. In fact, let people know the kind of stuff you do. You do this kind of walks in mostly around Hackney, and you look at certain kind of herbs. And to let people, what's the purpose of that, and what you trying to achieve with that, and the purpose? Yeah.
Well, yes, I do nature walks where I took people out to see certain plants out there that are part of the history in this country in terms of food that they can use or that was known by the ancient world right here in this country. And people go out and see, and they were surprised to see that some of these plants that they may pass by in the daytime are part of the healing mechanism or were part of the healing mechanism in this country. And I could mention some of them that are really vital. There's one that's called elder flower. The elder flower, or they call it the elder, it's been a plant that is very magical plant, actually. And it's been used by the natives, the Druids, and, you know, a lot of people, even in America, they've been using the elder. People could go into the store, they got the elder flower drinks that they buy. But the elderberry is also used to make jam. And people used to use the bark and the leaves, but now they don't recommend the bark and the leaf. Because as they're getting more scientific, they're turning down or turning away from some of the ancient practice. Because some cultures cannot digest some food that other cultures can digest properly. You know, some people have to cook it down to a level where they can handle it. But for our people, we can take a lot of the natural stuff and our body can digest it in some ways. So the elderflower is out there, and it's now it's in its seeding time. So elderberries are all over the place. And there's thousands of elderflower tree here in this country. But the best time to pick the leaf or the flower, not the leaf, but the flower, is just before the summer solstice. Anytime after the solstice, it's going to be very close after the solstice, because after that, the flowers all fade away.
Okay.
And so people normally pick those and store them for during the time of when you get the fall and the winter, when you get into cold, and you know, people got the flu season comes in. It's good for that. So people pick them and normally dry them, you know. Anybody wants the elderflower, I can get that, because I have a company that I deal with. So I get our elderflower already picked and cured and dried for, you know, during the season. Okay. So I normally carry that, yeah?
Okay then. Well,
so
we definitely want to speak with you upon that level there as well, because I'm glad to say you've got that kind of contact. I know people would like to know about herbs and get herbs to heal us. We definitely want to work with you upon that level there. Definitely. You know?
Yes.
So
yeah, another walk. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. No, go on. Sorry, go on.
Another walk that I do, I take people to see the ginkgo tree. Ginkgo tree is a very famous tree in the sense that when they started to realize that the ginkgo leaf that they're seeing from the frozen ice age, they thought that it was extinct. They did not realize that the ginkgo was growing in place like China. And so when they write in the history book, they were writing that it was extinct until they found out that the ginkgo tree was still growing in China. And they realized that this is the only tree that survived the ice age without changing form. A lot of the other species of trees have changed form from the ice age to now. And the ginkgo leaves are very, very good for medicine, and especially for the elderly. Because you know, when the elderly in the hospital, most time the doctors or nurse, they come around and give injections because of the circulation, especially somebody's bedridden, they don't have enough circulation happening. The blood circulating because the blood is too thick at that time and it doesn't circulate that fast. And so they will give them injection, which I suspect that might have some element of ginkgo in it, but I'm not too sure about it. But what I know about ginkgo is that it's good for circulation.
It's good
That's
for
one of the
circulation.
things. Yes.
Okay then. And how do you take that? You take that like what?
You can
Every.
make a tea instead of taking warfarin, which is rat poison that they give people when their blood is not circulating, they're having heart problems. Instead of taking rat poison, I would recommend ginkgo. For the elderly, it helps with circulation. It helps with brain power, such as people that suffer from Alzheimer's. It's a very powerful herb. The ginkgo also produces seed every year. And before the ginkgo tree can produce seed, it has to be at least 30 years old before it can start seeding.
So tell me, son. Would if you got bad circulation, well, if you don't have bad circulation, you still can take it still in it.
You still can take it because it's a powerful medicine. It strengthens the body as well.
Right. So it's really like a medicine, really.
It's also because if people are studying a lot, it's very much a brain booster. It's a brain booster where you can combine the ginkgo with another powerful one called the Gota Cola and another one called the ginseng. Those three combined are called the brain booster. Some people call it brain booster because it boosts the brain, especially if you're doing important studies, where you're studying to be scientist, doctor, nutritionist, whatever study you're doing or you're going through stress, the brain booster would be excellent, which is the ginkgo, the ginseng, and the Gota Cola.
Okay then. So how would you take that? You take that like during like any time of the day, like in the morning, evening? How does it work?
You can take it 3 times a day. You can take it once a day.
Okay.
Depends on how severe the issues that you're taking it for.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
After a while, your body will tell you when you have enough of
when you have enough of it.
But you don't want to overdo because you would know anyway. But if you're doing severe study or you're going through severe stress, you would need this as a booster. I remember one time a lady came up to me and she said, well, somebody I know, she said to me, Clive, since I had my child, I have a very low brain power. She said, she can't concentrate. A lot of things was not going good for her mental wise. And I said to her, I know what you need. So I recommend the ginkgo, Gota Cola, and ginseng. Actually, I got that for her. She took it and she texted me and said, Clyde, this is powerful. Because she knows she got that trigger from it, So herbs are very powerful. And I would like somebody to call in for Monday. And I'm sure that people can say they felt the energy in the room. Because while I was talking, I was feeling people's energy.
Okay.
And I was asking them, did they feel it? So that's another thing you should get asked from people, because it was a very powerful energy circulation was going on Monday.
Okay then. No, I wonder if you talk a little bit about the brother you was referring to the other day from the States.
Oh yes. Yes. The other day I was talking about a brother named Lloyd Strayhorn. He wrote a book called Numbers and You. I met him while I was living in America. He's well known in the world of numerology. And he also used astrology in connection with numerology. So he's an astronumerologist. And he's somebody, his books are highly recommended. Numbers and You, and some of the books and numbers he have out. And if we notice today, Dougie, today is the 9/27/2018.
See.
You have to look 9, 27, and 18. That's 999 in the year 2000 cycle.
Okay.
So today is 999 in the 2000 cycle, which is year 2018. So that's very powerful, because September is 9, and today is the 27, which is 9, and today is 2018 or 18, which is 9.
Which is 9.
Without the 20. Today is the 18th or the 9th power of the 20th century, which they call the 21st century because they move in a century ahead. So today is a 999, and 9 is a very powerful number when it come on to 9 is about certification. 9 is about going the whole 9 yards or going the full power. 9 is the power of Mars in astrology, or ruled by the planet Mars. So today is a very powerful 9 day in that sense. Yes. So Lloyd Strayhorn deals with numerology, and hopefully we're looking in the near future to have him in London to speak to us and to teach us on some of the things on numbers.
Okay then. So where can one get information? Is he on YouTube or is he on?
Yes, they can Google him. Yeah, they can Google him. He's on YouTube. He's on my Facebook page. Yes, he's readily available to the London. He said he would love to come to London, so he's already looking forward to a London trip. Okay, so people can touch base with him on just Google him, Lloyd Strayhorn. Sounds reads just like how it sounds. That's how you spell it, Lloyd Strayhorn.
Okay then. So, Claddy Clown, wonder if you can give us some information where people can contact you. I know you're quite savage when it comes to social media. I know you have a WhatsApp group and this and that. So let people know, or then contact you, or your details, etc. Please.
I got 3 WhatsApp groups, so that's heavy. And I'm very much in contact with everybody. One is the Herbal Walk group, one is the community group, and so yes, 2 community groups. So yes, we kind of keep up on giving different things on a daily basis. People can get in touch with me under the name Galactic Spin @hotmail.com, or for telephone number it's 07961 476 356.
Sorry, say the number again, please. Be slow this time.
Yeah, 07961 476 356.
Okay, then, fantastic. So, Claddy Clyde, I just want to say, but before you leave, we got Jammers inside the house still. We have to big up to Jammers.
Jammers, yeah, big up Jammers.
Yeah, big up Galactic Love. I've been listening keenly, with my notepad, and keep up the works, man.
But before you leave, I got to ask you your thing about dream, because you're the first one who really brought down the significance about dreams,
Yes. A lot of people talks about meditation, yeah? You see that people talk about we should do meditation and we should always meditate. Well, I wrote in one of my poems that one of the biggest meditation we do is sleep time. Sleep time is a meditation by itself. And when we sleep, we actually go into the realm of the unconscious. We go into the unconscious part of ourselves.
Right.
We also journey into the ancestral realms. We could travel different dimensions and things like that when we dream. We can meet with people that are here and people who have gone on from before. So a lot of things take place while we sleep, because really the part of us that is sleeping is our physical self. The spiritual part of us is very much awake and alive, and are very much doing a lot of the things that is necessary to keep us grounded and to keep us anchored to understand the deeper aspects of ourselves. So dreams are actually a connection with the ancestral realm.
I said I'm really back in 20 minutes. I'm on the radio.
Or connect. Yeah, I'm here in the background noise. But dreams actually is tapping into the subconscious. And most times the message that we get in connection to dream are very much on I call it conceptual speech. Dreams are basically concepts that we get in a language based on colors, based on symbols, or things that we may see, but not necessarily, as they say, dreams are not 100% what we see it is. It's a concept that represents something that we need to be aware of. It's almost like we've been taught something that we understand in order for us to understand something we don't know. So that's how our dreams are symbolic in that sense. Yeah?
So would you say dreams are more of a vision?
Sorry?
Would you say dreams come like a vision?
Yeah, it's a vision. Is the familiar to help us to understand the unfamiliar.
Oh, all right, all right.
Yeah, something that we're familiar with, whether it's in our childhood or our walks of life, to teach us about things that we may not be familiar with, but we can draw on a concept, we can draw an understanding from it.
Okay.
So with that understanding, we can grasp a dream.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
like if we dream about, say for instance, an elephant, it's important to understand the concept that comes with it.
Mm.
You know, because the elephant we know is a big creature. Elephant represents wisdom.
Mm.
But where is the elephant? Is it in the water? Is it on the mountain? Is it in the hotel? You know, where it is would give us a more understanding of depth of what the dream is representing. In
What it
connection
really
to the
represents.
elephant.
Absolutely.
So that's why when someone tells me their dream, I want more details so I could draw from what it is that is the dream of, can tell me or help me to understand more so what the dream is trying to tell them.
Okay. Okay. So, Clyde, I just want to give thanks to you for your contribution, and you definitely will be speaking soon. Definitely, probably tomorrow. Yeah, over the weekend.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Give thanks again.
Yeah, give James and you for your jammers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, respect every time.
Every time.
Respect jammers. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Nice one. Okay then. So that we had a great man, Clyde, on the line with us, sharing some information, and he went down very well Monday just gone, and then I said it was a fantastic event, and yeah, Clyde is something, you know what I mean, I don't know what to say about, he's a diamond among us, that's what I say in the community. Okay then, so we have Jam Master inside the host, and earlier on we did mention the event was taking place at the Bernie Grant Center on the 27th, and there's some events coming up, and we're trying to push these events out so many people can come out and support these events was taking place. So Jam Masters, we have to say no, Jammers.
Yeah, big up Galactic Clive. Yes, and Doug, yeah, for us who didn't make it to your event, how did it go on the Monday gone? How was the event?
You know something? It went down well, man.
Great.
It went down well. We have to find more space now because we've kind of outgrown that space there. For Monday during the daytime, you know, it's just phenomenal. So, you know, we look at the bill upon it. Definitely look at the bill upon it. Put things in place. So, you know, it went down very well. And like Clyde said, the vibes was very good. Very rich with vibes. You know, people full enjoying themselves. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. I can't say no more. And hopefully we have Geraldine before a little bit later on, who was one of the speakers then. She was very good. And, you know, she was sharing some information about Monday and about the vibes and talk about a little bit of health and etc. Yeah, it went down well, man.
Great. Is there another one this Monday? Is it? Or
No, that was it.
that was it. Yeah.
That was it. That was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna review it now and just see how, and then we might do something on a weekend, on a Saturday down Hackney. We, you know, yeah, just looking to see what we can build on it. That's all it is.
Great. That's great. That's great. Yeah. And you did another health event as well. Is it coming up shortly as well?
That's on the 13th of October. I mentioned earlier on. So we'll be at the West Indian Culture Centre, and that's focused around look at things like fibroids, prostate cancer, diabetes, and mental health. And it's from 12 to 6 at the West Indian Culture Centre, and that's the 13th of October. That's on a Saturday. See, admission only £1, and if you want stools only £10 for a table. And for a small table, and the big table is £15. So again, people are booking up for stores, and people looking forward to coming down there. See, and it's at the West Indian Cultural Centre.
And are you doing something as well next week? I think I'll be colliding with you next week. Is it Parkview Academy?
Yeah, Parkview Academy. I had a meeting with the sister today. I know that you're doing. We're looking through you're doing some etymology roots right now. Think about words, yeah.
I'll be doing etymology, the roots of word, plus the science of public speaking as well.
Okay then. Yeah. So mentioned that earlier on. And that's again with down there. Expecting quite a few people coming down there. So that's gonna be full on. So
That's next week. Next week Saturday, is it?
next week Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, that's the 6th, yeah?
Right.
The 6th next week Saturday. Yeah. So that's going to take place on the 6th.
And I've got to mention that this Saturday, all roads lead to the Family Fun Day. The slogan is "Let's get together and feel alright," and it's taking place at White Hart Lane Recreation Ground N22 5SJ, and that's this Saturday, the 29th of September 2018, from 12 noon till 8 p.m. It's all about connecting families, residents, and the community, and supporting core stability. There'll be treasure hunt, general knowledge, quiz, games, picnic, bouncy castle, belly dancing, face painting, music, cultural market, tug of war, tic-tac, and football. Is all being organised by Active Futures, which it encourages better play and better spaces to bring healthy, happy, smiling faces. It's encouraging the community to gain knowledge of their historical structure, and it's all about getting together as a community, rebuilding the community, networking, and growing together. There'll be advice and interactive sessions on careers, also stay survival skills, arts, craft, and table. Arts. There'll be arts. Let me get this right. There'll be advice on interact sessions on careers, stay safe, survival skills, arts and crafts table. There'll also be a belly dancing workshop, and I'll be there providing a language-rich environment. And there'll be storytelling, media education, electronics, and it's all taking place once again this Saturday at the White Hart Lane Recreation Centre N22 5SJ, once again from 12 noon till 8 p.m. And the sound system should be by Bless. And for further information, you can contact Anne on 07984 861, Matthew on 07946 303 965. Jammers, myself on 07931 417 553, and also Brother Dougie on 07882 403 871. The place to be right there this Saturday. Looking forward to that event. Yeah, also we're going to be doing the Saturday school. The Saturday school is still running. I'll be spending 2 hours down, and that's really going well. The youngsters are really grasping. I do art, basically art, creative art, and then I do the art of speaking, and incorporate etymology as well. So it's really going well. The next event that's taking place, I'll be doing an etymology lecture and science of public speaking lecture, and that's going to be at St Ian's Library on Sunday the 21st of October. St Anne's Library, still to confirm the time and info, but stay tuned to that. So once again, that's going to be an etymology lecture and science of public speaking. And of course, the next Speakers Club Awards will be taking place October the 27th. I'd like to thank everybody for the response that we've been getting in relation to that event. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the event. But also, once again, if you do not know, we've also got Andrew Mohammed, who will be co-hosting now with Brother Dougie, the investigator himself, will be co-hosting the awards at the Bernie Grant Centre. And also do remember, if you're interested in participating or taking part in the event, they're having auditions every Friday for recordings limited, having a search for a start every Friday in North London. If you're interested in coming down, The number to call is 07375 449 318. Once again, 07375 449 318. Forward recording, search for a star, having auditions, and the winners will be performing at the event. Also, do remember, if you're interested in coming down to the Speakers Club of the Year Awards, it will be taking place Saturday the 27th of October at the Bernie Gratz Arts Centre, Town Hall Approach Road, N15 4RX. We have an esteemed lineup. Of Edison Abanji, Dr. Abu Ratata, Sarah Sultan Seti, and of me, myself. We're going to have a conference on regenerating the family and the genius of the black child. Also, we've got a panel, a heavyweight panel of Israel, Lyndon Waters, Paul Lawrence, Sister Angie, and Michael Ansar. Also, the judge will be Errol Hines. Bat Theatre will be in performance. Digo will be providing the music. There'll be live PAs by Forward Recordings. Also, it will be filmed by AV Media. Early bird tickets are £15 available from the box office, which is 0208 365 5450. You can also go online at the Bernie Gratz Arts Centre online and get your ticket online. We also have a delivery service where if you like to get your tickets, you can get them from myself. Number to call is 07931 417 553. Early bird tickets are running out, so make sure if you want an early bird ticket, you should try to get it at least by next week. Tickets after that will be £20 and it's £25 on the door. It's also sponsored by Find Your Voice, SLR, Galaxy, Bless Radio, and The People's Versus. Also, it's also an award, so you can nominate your favorite person in the community. Could it be your mother, your brother, your teacher, or anyone in the community you think is deserving of an award? You can text me on 07931 417 553. You can also text Brother Dougie. Dougie, you want to give your number if anybody wants to text a nomination for the award?
Okay, my number is 0788 240 3871. I repeat, 0788 240 3871.
You can also email the Speakers Club at aol.co.uk. Once again, you can email your nominations to the Speakers Club at aol.co.uk. And do remember, once again, you can also watch this in the comfort of your own home. It is a pay-per-view live stream event, and you can watch it worldwide, in whether you're in Jamaica, Africa, Israel, Brazil, Trinidad, Barbados, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle. You can watch this event. It will be live stream. Canada, Florida, Detroit. You can watch it in the comfort of your own home by visiting www.thespeakersclub.co.uk, and it will give you all the information of the live streaming on this event.
So how does that work, though? So they watch it from anywhere?
Yeah, it's just like when you see the boxing. Yeah. Or the football.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, we've had a Mantis specialist in building platforms, so he built the platform on the Speakers Club website now that it will actually live stream events globally,
Okay.
And this is really what it's about. It's not just about a talk. It's about, first, we're making a link with America now, and then we want to do it with Africa and of course the other Caribbean countries. So it's to make a link where we can create a global wealth. Reason how we can, we're always good at talking, but what happens after the talking? So basically, in relation to the template of Wall Street, is we can entertain ourselves, So basically, if we can entertain ourselves globally, putting on an event between us and America, us and Africa, and we can get the world we can get enough interest so the world wants to watch the event, just like what they do when they have their latest events. Then we can generate global finances where we can share, we can divide amongst ourselves to people who are active in the community. So this is what it's really about. It's not just a talk or a conference. We really want to try and make history here. We want to try and, as you said, we want to regenerate the family and celebrate the genius of the youth by putting our interest in a common denominator, putting our funds in a common denominator and then sharing the funds amongst ourselves to generate the family and enhance the genius of our youth. You know.
Okay, then that's fantastic. That's really, really great stuff.
That's the bigger picture. It's not just the talk. It's all about. And that's I'm really pleased that everybody's jumping on board and showing their support for what we're attempting to do here. You know, I spoke to Seti yesterday actually, and he's really. I got to congratulate him again. You know, his queen is going to be having a child next year.
Okay, fantastic.
You know, so he's really been busy, you know, supporting his queen.
Okay, then.
You know,
So
but he's sending his love to England. He said he's going to be on the case, and he'll be pushing it in from the US of A. You know, he's looking forward to coming here as well. You know?
Okay then. So I mean, that week can be busy because I mean, was it Uma and Mutadadi in Birmingham?
They're going to be down in Birmingham on the same day, actually.
On the same day.
On the same day, and then the following week, then they're going to be in
The Lighthouse,
in London at the Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, okay.
So
then.
so it's funny that Seti and Uma are going to be coming down in the same, around the same period of time, you know. So yeah, that's
so
increased the hype.
what's so special about what is so special about Seti? But why you want to bring Seti on? And yeah, and I would say this because people might hear Seti for the very first time. Why Seti, and what's so special about Seti? Yeah.
Well, I think Seti's one of the most straightforward. Whether you like him or dislike him, he's one of the most straightforward individuals, you know, in our and raw speaking individuals in our time. He attracts a different type of attention from the mainstream speakers. Maybe he'll get people listening who don't normally listen to the events. But the thing about people don't really relate Seti with that he's really well read, he's really well researched, you know, and maybe although his language might be raw, you know, and maybe it's too painful for some people to take the rawness of, but he's actually a scholar when it comes to actually facts, you know, where he's well researched, and he's been doing this for years, you know, through under the wing of Dr. Ben, you know, and he has the philosophy of Marcus Garvey, you know, and Dr. Henry Clark close to his chest, and he's a real defender of black people and the trials and tribulation that we go through. He's a real spokesman. He's never afraid to say what he thinks, you know. And I think as a speakers club, you know, the art of speaking, if you look at what they do in the House of Commons or whatever, you know, they speak, you know, with power, and they're not afraid to speak their mind on certain issues. And really, if this society is about freedom of speech, you know, we have to encourage individuals to speak their mind, whether we agree with their views or we disagree with their views. The essence is we need to be able to speak our mind and have platforms where we can invite people to speak, you know, because even if you don't like the material or the language, you can learn from like the confidence, the speed of thought. Another thing with Seti, you know, if you're in his company, he's got a speed of thought. You know, he's really fast on his thinking, and he's honed his talent through the numerous debates he's had. Another thing, he's fearless because he's been debating for years. He's been going in areas where other people wouldn't go in, and he's not afraid to speak his mind in front of people who don't share his opinion. So that's a great thing for a speaker to have, is that fearless attitude, that you're not afraid to go and say what you believe in front of the face of somebody who is in opposition to you, you know. So he does tick a lot of boxes in relation to the qualities that you need in public speaking. Of course, sometimes his language might not be suitable for in certain circumstances, but as I said, he covers an area that other speakers don't cover, and he's got a listenership that other speakers wouldn't get.
Absolutely. So, you know, and that's going to be an amazing event. It'd be good, wise, to mention a little bit more about the other speakers that are on the event there, because obviously I know Edison Abdul, you know, so mention a little bit about Edison and what he's about at Abdul.
Yeah, well, Edison, I think he's going to be calling in as well shortly. Yeah, Edison's going to be calling in as well. Edison's a powerhouse when it comes to spirituality, you know, the mechanics of spirituality, our inner self, how we can maximize our our potential, our potential. So basically, that's why he's on the bill, because I think he's really, you know, he's untouchable when it comes to that kind of knowledge and that field. And what it with the difference with Edison, I find, is that he gives you practical experience that you can use for yourself. He's not a preacher who just says it, and when he leaves the room, you know, you can't do nothing extra than what you could do when you was listening to him. Because there's a lot of speakers who like to preach, but they keep the information to themselves, you know, because they think that's what keeps them at the top and keeps people coming to watch them. Well, Edison's a totally different kettle of fish. Yeah, he gives you skills. He imparts skills, so you're able to stand on your own 2 feet and become more versed and a practitioner in your own spirituality. You know. So that's Edison, and he'll be coming in. So he's actually running a course as well. He's starting his course, I believe, this week again. So he'll be bringing in and giving you some more information on that. And his courses are really doing well. I've been on a couple of his courses, and they do really enhance your ability.
Back to Eden.
Yeah, it's going to be back to Eden. Yes. So he'll be calling it soon. And of course, the public, you know, public powerhouse. Dr. Abu Ratata, he's been serving the community for I think over 25 years now. You know, he's been a warrior to the cause of black power empowerment, you know, for over 25 years, and he's put his whole life on the line, you know, for the service of it, towards the service of his people. He's been in the courts speaking, you know, for us, to enable us to be able to become self-reliant. Do we have a call coming through?
No, that's just a tip for the
right. If anybody wants to text or call, the number to call is 079 443 1366. Once again, I'll give you that number again. 079 443 1366. Also, we've got people who can't underestimate Paul Lawrence. Paul Lawrence is a powerhouse as well. He's on the panel. He's one of the founders of the 100 Black Men.
Is he the founder of 100 Black Men?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of the founders of 100 Black Men. And he's also a renowned public speaker and public trainer. I've also had lessons from Paul.
I know he's a brilliant debate. He's one of the best debaters out there. You know?
Right, I know you told me about it. Yeah, I've had training from Paul as well. So Paul has helped me to enable me to with my presentations as well. So I'm privileged to have some of his teaching skills imparted on me, and I know I've benefited from that. So Paul cannot be answered. Also, we've got Israel, an amazing individual who was one of the founders in the King's Peace Treaty. You know, and he's out on the streets there, you know, building our youth together with gang, you know. So he's one of the hardest working individuals I know, Israel, you know, and we're privileged to have him guesting on the panel. Or brother Lyndon as well. Don't underestimate Linda Waters. Yeah, he's a behavioural therapist, and he's a master football coach as well. So he's not just people see him coming out with a lot of reference books and think he's just on the reference book, but he has a practical, workable knowledge that he applies. I work with him as well in the schools, you know, and we are really achieving good results in the actual schools as well. So he's a behavioural therapist, you know. And then we've got Sister Angie as well. I suppose you can tell people about Sister Angie.
No, the funny thing, I bumped into her Monday, you know, when I was coming from the event there in the restaurant. Angie is a very powerful sister, you know, very loving, very caring, you know, conscious, you know, sincere. She's got a beautiful smile about her. She's one of sisters, when you see you want to hug her and etc. You know. She and Auntie Jean, you know, I really love them to bits. You know, they really are lovely, lovely sisters. You know, and very knowledgeable, very in depth. Some serious insight she has. You know, so Angie is an amazing individual. You know, those who see her, you know, they really gravitate towards her. You got that kind of energy about her. Yeah, absolutely. Okay then, what we're gonna do? We're gonna wait for Edison to phone in, very shortly, and then what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play a recording of this. Until
the mind is the battleground. It is the place where the greatest conflict is. There are more people in this room having trouble in their mind than there are people having trouble in their finances. The struggle is in your mind. This is why we have people who go to bed tired and wake up tired. Slept 8 hours and you wake up still tired. The reason you wake up tired is that you got sleep but you didn't get rest. Your mind has been in turmoil all night long. You've been wrestling in your sleep. Have you ever woke up and your bed was wet? The bed is all tore up just like you've been in a fight because your mind has not rested. Your body went to sleep, but your mind is still caught up in a warfare. Your mind is the battleground. Touch somebody and tell them the enemy's after your mind. Out to worry you to death, out to stress you to death, out to break you down, out to make you quit, out to make you think that you can't get up, out to make you give up on your dream. The warfare is in your mind. It's not in your checkbook. It's not in your savings account. It's not on your job. The fight that you've got to fight is in your mind. And if you whip it in your head, you can whip it in your checkbook. You can whip it on your job. You can whip it out of your children, but you got to drive it out of your head. Tell somebody, say, I've been thinking. Suddenly I begin to realize that the enemy cannot use my car. He doesn't need my car. Doesn't need my car. So if he's fooling with my car, wait a minute, he don't drive. Fooling with my house, he don't need a house. Fooling with my job, he doesn't need a job. But life is after your mind. And what you've got to understand is that any way, any entrance way that he can get to upset your mind, he will begin to wear you out. That's why I would rather have peace than have joy. I would rather have peace. I said I would rather have peace than have joy. I'd rather be able to look at the man in the mirror and like what I see. I'd rather be able to curl up in the bed and hug myself and fall asleep loving me. I'd rather wake up in the morning and kiss myself. The Bible said in the Word of God, God has promised, I will keep him at perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on me. It is not God's will or purpose for you to be troubled in your mind, frustrated in your mind, uncomfortable in your mind. In fact, the Bible said, be anxious for nothing. To be anxious is to have anxiety about something that hadn't even happened yet. Some of you are so worried by the threat of trouble. You're not in trouble, it's just that trouble has threatened you. And the threat of what might happen, what could happen, is wearing you down. Half of the things that you thought were going to happen never did happen. But if you allow those thoughts to dwell in your mind, it will succeed at robbing you of your peace, robbing you of your joy, robbing you of your life, just because you thought yourself into a nervous breakdown. You thought yourself into depression. You thought yourself into defeatism. The scripture says it is with the mind that we serve the Lord. The mind is the battle.
Yeah, and there's a. What was that playing there, Doug?
That was T.D. Jakes talking about the power of the mind.
Right.
And he looks at and talks about how we took ourselves in depression.
Right.
You know, because we said everything starts from the mind. You know, so that's why you know, we have to get the mind right. You have to spend practically, you know, at least 3 hours a day. Make sure your mind is put together. If it means reading positive things, if it means affirmation, going out, meditation, whatever the case may be. Well, I want to say what the case may be, but in terms of getting the mind right, you know, meditation, just be among positive people, create an environment, because a lot is in the mind, you know. A lot of it's in the mind. So that's why, I mean, one of the reasoning we had to be, it'd be interesting when Edison comes in and phone in and talk about the whole thing about mind and spirituality, etc. Because, you know, what you find, and remember the reason we had a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, I think, when we were saying that, you know, you've got to will yourself into existence, will yourself being successful. That means anchoring yourself. That means saying that, yes, I am powerful, I am great, and with feeling, you know, because with that feeling, that comes assertive. See, and these are what we need to practice on a daily basis. Like myself, when I anchor myself, I beat myself on the chest, beat myself on the chest. Now, what that does, that put me into anchor position, so I feel strong, and powerful. You know, if you observe tennis, right? And before they go to serve, what do? They bounce the ball up and down. What it does, that anchor them, ready for serve. See? So, what I'm saying is, there's certain rituals we need to get involved to keep us anchor.
Yeah. In relation to what you're saying as well, that's another thing is we have to be aware of the effect that the words that they give us to use on our mind, the effects that these words have, you know, that we've been trained to use, because the words also act as either something that will help you to do something or hinder you from doing anything. For instance, and now the way that words have been put to us, how words control you. I'll give you an example in how words are used to control. It's called the science of semiotics.
Okay, that's the words to control.
The science of semiotics. It relates to meanings, how you can put how you can interpret different meanings in words. So basically, someone will say something to you in a way that to put a behavior into you. I'll give you an example. So semiotics is the study of meanings. So if I want to give you information, I will use context. Context means text. Well, let me. Right, I'm going to give you a phrase now. It is raining. It is raining is information. I think that's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you that in different ways, and I'll explain it. So basically, if I want to give you information, I'll tell you it is raining. Yeah. If I want to put an opinion in you, yeah, I'll say it's bloody raining. So now the first "it is raining" was information. Yeah, it's called context. So basic. The second one is an expression. So I wanna express something into you by how I address you. So when I speak to you, I am the addressee. I am addressing you. So when I'm addressing you, I'm going to put something to you in relation to rain, to make you think about rain in a different way. I'm not going to give you information, say it's raining. I'm going to say it's bloody raining. So when I'm saying it's bloody raining, I'm forcing you to think in a certain way in relation to rain, which you wouldn't have thought about in the first place. You would have just thought, oh, it's raining. But because I've said it's bloody raining now, you're either going to agree with me or even going to say, well, what's this man talking about, you know? So there's one way I can give you information. The other way is I can push an opinion on you. The next thing I can do is I can give you a command in relation to it. So I can say, don't go out in the rain. So when I say don't go out in the rain now, I've changed. I'm not giving you information. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you a command.
Command, yeah.
You know, so that's the same rain. I've used it in 3 different ways. And the third one is to influence your behavior. So if I want to influence your behavior, I'm going to put a command in there in relation to the rain. The next way I can use rain is I can use it as a code. Now, when I'm using rain as a code, I'm not talking about the rain. I'm talking about the features of the rain. So rain as a code is, this is a weather forecast. Here is the weather forecast. So weather forecast is the code for rain. It's not telling you nothing about the rain. It's just giving you an overview. So a code gives you an overview. So basically I can give you information by saying it's raining. So I'm using the same thing in 4 different ways. So I can give you information, it is raining. If I want to give you information, I'll tell you it is raining. If I want to push my opinion in you, I'll say it's bloody raining. So that means that way I'm pushing an opinion your way. If I want to influence your behavior, I'll tell you don't go out in the rain, you know. And then the 4th way, if I'm going to give you a code, I'm going to tell you watch the weather forecast. The 5th way is through a poem. A poem now, I'm going to stimulate your feelings about the rain. Oh, we've got a call coming through.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Greetings.
Hi, Dougie.
How you been,
Hi,
man?
gentlemen.
You good?
I'm very well indeed. Very well indeed. Okay.
Okay then.
How's it going this evening over there?
Yeah, great. I was just breaking down some semiotics. So basically, I was showing how you could say one thing in 5 different ways to get whatever response you wanted to get. So I'll just go over it again for anybody who's just joined us.
Okay.
So basically, if I want to pass on information, I will just say simply it's raining. Yeah. If I want to push my my opinion into the equation, I will say it's bloody raining. So now I've taken the word rain and I've pushed an opinion in there, where someone will either agree or disagree. If I wanna influence someone's behavior, I'll take the same word and I'll put a command in there. So I say don't go out in the rain. So the first one is information, it's raining. Second one is I'm pushing an opinion out there, bloody rain. The third one is if I want to influence your behavior, I'll say don't go out in the rain. The 4th one, if I want to use it as a code, I'll say here is the weather forecast. A code is just giving you the surface, it's not telling you the actual requirement. And then the 5th way is if I want to make you have a feeling about the rain, where I'll do it in a poetic way, saying the heavy rain is beating down and causing heavy wind and extreme cold. So I can use it in a poetic way to influence a feeling. So there I'm saying there's 5 ways that you can just use the same phrase if you want to influence behavior. So this is what as well Dougie was talking about the mind. So I was just giving an example of how words can be used to affect your mind.
You know the 6th one?
What's the 6th one?
The 6th one is the tone of voice.
Right.
You see, your tone of voice is the melody underneath your words.
Right.
Yeah? Someone can say a word, but the tone of voice tells you what they're trying to really explain.
Well, the thing is, you see, everything is... let me work this out now.
Go.
Tone, right, there's a certain way. When you put a word together, it's called a context, yeah?
Yeah.
When you put a tone of voice together, it's called a connotation, yeah?
Okay.
So when you're writing a text, you're putting it in a context. When you're saying something in a tone, it's a connotation. What you have to know about the word con means together or with something, but it also means to imply something. That's the thing that people don't realize about the word con. It means you're implying something without saying it.
Okay.
You know, so you're not giving as exactly what you're saying. You're not giving the game away, but by the tone of your voice, you're stopping somebody doing something, or you're encouraging somebody doing something without actually implicitly telling them the reason. Because the key about this thing, what you're saying, is not to give a reason, just to give an expression, so you can influence somebody's behavior bypassing their reason by, as you're saying, by giving a tone of voice or a gesture to influence the behavior to bypass the reasoning mechanism.
No, that's it. It's like adding an emotion
Yes.
to a situation. You know how your parents could give you a look
Yes.
and they didn't need to add no words, and you knew what they meant, and you could recognize different looks on their face. Oh, he's serious, or she's not serious, or what have you. So forms of expression are very much in your control. Your emotions leak, or your tone of voice leaks what you're really thinking. That's why the written word is so difficult, because it's not all the time you can convey expression. You have to write in a specific way or peculiar way in order to have people feel what you're trying to say. That's why there's so much more that needs to be said in words that with just hearing a person's voice, you can know what they're trying to convey.
Yeah, and the thing about words, it's called text. You know, text is in Latin means woven. You know, woven means to weave, and when you weave something, it means to invent or fantasize. So basically, everything that is written in text. Text in Latin means woven. Woven means to weave. So everything that is written in text is a lie. The reason why it's a lie, I was reading Chancellor Williams today, and when somebody conquers somebody else, they conquer them through military power, 1. They conquer them politically, 2. They conquer them economically, 3. But the key element is they have to come with believing that they're a superior race or superior civilization. So that not being in place, then they have to come with a lie. So that's why that everything that they do is based on a lie, because the key, even when you're making a law, if you want to put your law on somebody else, you have to put in their mind that you are superior to them in some way that they will, or that they're enforcing on you. So yeah, the whole concept that we're talking on this Western Hemisphere is based on a fantasy. You know, this is why they have to resort to this kind of behavior.
Okay, well, Jammers, this goes in line with the event that you're going to do on the 27th, isn't it?
Yes.
The Black Genius, the genius in the child.
Yeah.
And how the child has been educated to... Are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. How the child has been educated to actually be living in a fantasy. Yeah? How they've literally given the child what they should be, how they should be. From the cradle throughout all of school and to the grave, this child has been given an aspiration of how and who they should be, and they've been given a fantasy that they're trying to visually and story-wise achieve.
Yep, that's right.
They've all learned this from there. As soon as they learn to read, then they're given books to read. As soon as they're given books to read, the thing about a book, all it merely is you reading words and a vision inside your mind.
And
yes, go ahead.
And I'm saying, but basically, when you look at etymology actually really just means true words, or words that are true. So if that being the case, that etymology means true words, that means every other word must be a connotation, must be a lie, must be a code. Everything else is a code. And a code just gives you another word. It just gives you another order. It doesn't give you the true meaning of a word. And basically, a dictionary is just a book of orders of what to do. When somebody tells you something, the more skilled you are at the dictionaries, the more orders you can follow out.
Well, a dictionary is literally a rule book, isn't it?
Yes, it's a dictation.
Because it literally tells you, according to someone else, what every word means.
That's right, yeah. Because when you dictate something... Someone puts a dictation down. A dictator is you follow what's being said, So dictation means you follow the dictation, So you go in a dictionary to see the dictation you're supposed to follow.
Yeah. Hence you got dictator and everything like that, isn't it? It's all based out of the same word, where someone gives you instructions of how you should behave.
And funny enough, the word condition comes from diction. So diction. So when you're talking about someone's condition, it's what you say to them puts them in the condition that they're in. You know,
Yeah.
so if you tell someone they're shy, you know, you're the one who's putting the words. If somebody hasn't got a defense for what's been said, your words are putting a condition on them.
Your words are giving them the mental instruction how they should visually see themselves.
And there's certain
But-
words that create possession. So basically, the word my, you, yours creates a possession. So basically, if I say you are stupid, I've created a condition where this person is going to possess this word that I've just thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain words that are determinants. That means when you say the word, it puts the other person in a condition.
Right. I wonder if I can jump in here.
No, 100%, James. This is how the world is made to go around in your mind by someone giving you the structure how you should see the world go around.
But Anderson, I want to just jump in here, right?
Go ahead.
Because would you really look at words as vibration? For an example, if you look at the word hate, it has a vibration. Right? Well, all words are vibration. Well, if I say all words, I mean, please correct me if I've misrepresented information there. But
No, what you said is absolutely correct. The thing is, every single letter has a frequency it generates when it's actually said.
I didn't know that.
Hence, yeah, so hence words like E. Yeah, when you hear E, easy, it's sort of, one, it can pick you up, but you feel good when you hear that letter E. Yeah? Where you hear a word like K instead of a C. Whenever C is used as a K, it has a whole different vibration to the word. Yeah, this is why things that they say like swear words, the reason why they have such a powerful influence is when you hear those words, they create such a frequency within you, it disturbs your normal pattern of how you feel.
Yeah.
That's why just hearing the word, whether you know what it is or not, it feels different.
Feels different. Yeah.
Yeah.
For every word, there's books out there that breaks down exactly every single frequency that's generated from a word. And when they're designing a word, they're designing it in a specific way that affects you in a certain way. Hence the word A, and we've done it before, is ah. That's why it's the first word. When you breathe, you take in a breath. That's why A is the first word.
And when you look at
Ba. Go ahead.
No, so when you look at the words, they're constructed in a way that creates the condition. If you say the word smile, your mouth moves up into the smile. If you say the word high, your voice goes into the high. If you say the word low, your voice goes into the low. Say the word breathe. You can actually feel yourself breathing as you say the word breath, because the words have been created to create this. It's based on the air and how you condition your mouth moves in a certain ways. The science of your physical vocal cords and your psychology and your psychic that creates this actual vibration, because words are actually a graph. They're a chart of actually records what you actually do. It's just like a doctor's when you see the heart beating and you see the monitor. This is the higher science that created the words that we use. It's a vibrationary code that records the action of the mind.
It's what you use as well. The way you end a word. At the end of a word, the pitch that you use. If someone is asking, "Are you right?" and they send the word up at the end, you know that they care. When their tone is flat, yeah, then you say, "Oh, your tone is a bit flat." And when their tone is low at the end of the word, then you know that they don't care.
But it's quite interesting.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, Edison. Sorry, but it's quite interesting. This is what James just said, because it's very interesting. Because, for example, if you say to your partner that I love you, right? You will say it with so much, with care and smile and
exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But if you say I hate you, you have to screw up your face physically, and you know what I mean. And I never really thought about that, you know what I mean? Or, for example, you say to someone that you've won the lottery, right? Right? And see that person's expression, I've won the lottery. they probably do a somersault. You see what I'm saying? You know, but say that you've just lost a grand or whatever. I mean, physically, you know, they're going to in a depression kind of physical state. So it's quite interesting what James just said there.
Yeah, the body, you know, in order to do a certain dance move or make an expression, your body has to contort itself in a different way. The same way to say a specific word, your face and your body has to change in a certain way in order to get the tone out. Hence, when someone is speaking, they say, "Can you stand up, please?" Because they know just by your body standing up, your lungs, everything is clear to project the voice out further. So we're constantly in that state where, as they say, your body doesn't lie. Your body doesn't lie. They say use words to lie, but your body tells the truth.
Right.
And I just want to break, as we're talking about tones, I want to break down the word confidence, because people will give you an hour lecture about confidence and they still don't even know what it means. So I'm just going to break it down in a basic, less than 5 minutes. Con means with, as we said, altogether, it means to imply something, you know, so the way you say something implies, it hints or suggests something. So dent comes from the word denture, your mouth. So basically, how you say something with your mouth has an effect on the people around you and has an effect on you. Tone means to own. So if you want to be confident, you've got to say something. Like when your mother tells you something when you've done something wrong. Or when somebody's got the dog and the dog misbehaved. The way you say something, or a police or a sergeant, especially a sergeant, the way you use your tone means to own. So you've got to start to own the vibrations that are coming out of your mouth. You now have to start to control the tones that you come out of your mouth. Once you start owning your vocal cords and in charge of the way that you express your words, you will start to speak with confidence and display this kind of poetic skill in rhetoric and speaking to sway audience. So basically, it's just the control of your vibration. That's what confidence really means.
It's really your energy and how you express it. You see, one of the kings of this is old Barack Obama. If you ever watch him do a speech or what have you, this man is perfect at controlling his tone. And in doing so, he controls the room. He can have a silent room because he knows when to pause, when to exaggerate a word, when to actually throw in a joke or a comical thing. He's literally massaging the room and keeping it in the palm of his hat or his mental hand with his mouth and how he expresses himself.
And just to base on that as well, your average speaker, you're passing in the church as well. And the next thing about toning, it's not based on reason. You have to bypass the thinking mechanism and touch the emotion. So, you know, some of them great Casanovas, or the man who's got a lot of women around him, the way that they say, they can make someone cry just by the vibration that's coming out their mouth, you know. So they're working on the emotion with the tone. It's bypassing, it's the hint, it's the suggestion, it's the implication of the word. It's no reasoning. That's what hits the emotion.
You
know?
No, it is literally that. You have to appreciate that the best speakers are the ones who dictate how you feel as they speak to you. Every conversation is really someone trying to impose their will or their perspective in your mind, giving you a visual look at what they're trying to say. If I'm speaking to you, a good communicator can enable you to visualize in your mind what they're trying to say. Otherwise, you say, "Oh, I don't get that. I can't see what you're saying."
And that's another thing with the men and women dynamic. Women are usually good at the emotional effect on them. And a man could have all the best reasoning, but why, you know, he took her to McDonald's, you know. But the one word from the woman, you know, that emotional word from the woman, it will cripple the man, you know.
That's slightly different, though.
Oh, is it? All right.
the man's afraid. The man's afraid. It's like a bear with a bear with a sore foot. You don't need to tell the bear. The bear's already got a sore foot. Any slight thing, is going to make him upset. So when a man is into a woman and he's afraid that she could leave him or not show him any attention, because guys live off how happy a woman is when she's around him. Yeah, because if the woman is upset,
sorry to cut you,
can't feed off that.
Sorry to cut you, Edison, but I did mention about your courses that you're doing. You know, so could you give us the listeners the courses that you're running and how they'll be beneficial as well, please?
Okay, well, again, a slight change of pace, but yes, we're starting a course. It's starting next Sunday. It's called Know Thyself: A Guide to African Spirituality. Essentially, what we're trying to do is to demystify all the myths and rumors that people think as regards to how the Africans used to behave prior to slavery until this very day. It was never really about you becoming a worshipper of things. It was really a science or the understanding of how you work within yourself, how you interact with yourself, how you think, why you speak, all the different conversations that you go through. And each week, the whole aim is to take you into a journey into yourself. Everyone always says, go within, go within. And we actually explain how you go within over the 10 weeks. Yeah, the courses are going to be held at the Back to Eden store on Lower Clapton Road in Hackney.
Do you have a postcode for that?
Sorry?
Do you have the postcode?
E50QR, I think it is. But if anyone wants to join or is interested, they can call me on 07497 088 138. I'll repeat that. It's 07497 088 138, or they can email me at email me. The email address is edison@ancestralessence.com. It's one of those things, if people are keen on spirituality, or they perceive it or what have you, or just want to go for what you call confidence and a better understanding of themselves, and to let them know that they've never ever been alone, the course is a perfect thing for that. So it covers all the different spiritual curiosities you might have, and it also gives you a greater depth inside yourself.
Right. I wonder if I can ask you a question here.
Please, Sergeant.
In terms of what you do in terms of spirituality. And this question is really about mental health. Me and you've had many conversations on this particular subject, and I'm quite fascinated in terms of what you was able to review to me and some insight in terms of the whole thing about mental health and link the whole thing about spirituality. And the reason why I wanted to ask this question, because what I find on my observation and speaking of certain individuals who's got challenged with mental health, and obviously someone like myself, because I don't have that insight in terms of giving some advice. Only thing I can say to a listen, you need to take some time out and look at yourself. But one of the things you were saying, a very more practical thing, that you need to have like spiritual baths, yeah, and obviously cleanse the room because that kind of energy and so forth. But I just want to get your insight, the whole thing about mental, and the reason why, because you find that it's on the increase. I mean, the other day I had to look for a sister in the in one of these institutions, a young sister. She's very bright, but I mean at the same time she's quite confused and lost at the same time, I want to get some insight from you and in terms of looking at this thing, how we move on it.
Okay, well, the thing about mental health, all of spirituality, all that it should be about is your mental health. All right? Because really, to break it down in its simplistic terms, your spirit is the energy behind the actual way in which you think, speak, interact with this world. Spirituality, we say, is really your spirit in this reality. So therefore, it's how you control the functions inside your mind, and you control the conversations inside your mind. Whenever you see someone that's really suffering from mental illness, it's usually that they're losing the battle with the conversations that they're having within their head.
Right.
That the conversations where there's certain voices or debates that they're having that is putting them down is something that they can no longer get a grip of and control. Often it can be an idea of a past event that they just can't get past. That the person is just stuck, constantly replaying that idea in their mind, and they're constantly looking for different distractions that prevent them for 5 minutes not thinking about that subject. And what happens is, after a while, if the person can't find a distraction, there's no one around or anything like that, the person eventually collapses, where they have to protect the rest of their body, so they literally shut off their conscious mind and act in a position where they can't really contain or control themselves for a minute. Depression, as they say, is pressure from inside.
Say that again. So
yeah?
depression is depression was inside, yeah?
It's pressure from inside, from a thought that has become so big and overwhelming that the person can't function, and they don't have any sort of mental energy to be able to think of anything or conceive of anything. It's almost like you're working so hard to maintain this image of you being good and you being strong and you being all of that, that your mind just can't hold it up anymore.
Okay.
Just can't hold it. And so essentially, you succumb to your fears. The depressed person's always talking about what they're scared of, what's going to happen or what has happened, and how they can't get beyond it and get over it. Yeah, whenever someone says you're depressed, you say, okay, what is it you're thinking of? And they might struggle, but after a while, if you look like you genuinely want to listen, they'll start to tell you the thoughts that they can't get beyond and can't get around. Yeah, so it's all a spiritual thing, where essentially the actual spirit, which is them, the essence, which is them, is being controlled by other thoughts within their mind. So they don't have any energy or capacity to do anything for themselves, because it's almost like the energy that you need to do something is gone. It's like if you said you had an energy and you equate it to £100, and that's your money for a day, £95 is taken from you by this thought, and you only have £5 left to do the rest of your day. Hence, you have to lean on everyone, on everything, just to get your day done, because all your energy is taken up trying to deal with this thought or fear or what have you. And now you've got everyone so scared just being able to survive, because life is so tough.
So tough, yeah.
That people are just breaking down because they can't maintain the game.
Yes.
They can't maintain all the energy required to just keep things going. It's just too much. You know, where's the next money coming from? Where's this coming from? Where's that coming from? And eventually the mind just says, I've had enough, I'm checking out. Yeah, I can't do it. Don't know where the next money's from. I've borrowed enough from too many. I'm fed up of telling my story. I can't do this anymore. Once the person gives up, then they almost hibernate inside themselves, and different aspects and characters of them now become the prominent one that seems like their actual personality is now this energy. This energy takes over their personality and carries the feed off them. This is when we're dealing with a course, we're really trying to discuss and go into these deeper aspects. So you really, when you say your lack of confidence, it's because you don't believe in the story of yourself.
But I mean, I like what you're saying there, man, because this is just really some deep insight. But in terms of one going into, as you said, in a depression, right? They're totally disillusioned with themselves, and what they do. Well, I want to say what they do. In terms of, they start taking on some other characters, some other stories now, right?
Yeah.
Right, some other stories now, and they start talk about stories, what's happened in the past, and this and that. right? And with the stories now, it comes like a feeling. You touch that kind of feeling, and yeah. So it's quite interesting you said that, because one of the things I've observed, right, is that when people go into I use the word depression, but they're into this thing where they're just disillusioned, fed up, and they start talking about all kind of stuff and start blaming everything, right? If it weren't for my father, if it weren't for this and blah 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 blah, and it's taken a different kind of reality now, different kind of story, you know what I mean? And I find that quite interesting, you know. Well, yeah, it's quite.
Well, they have to, because look, when someone comes to you and says they're depressed, and the worst thing people can say is get over it, because what it is that there's an image inside their mind of a certain event and a certain situation, and they can't make out or create another sort of image that is going to diffuse that one. You know, if someone says, I'm upset, I'm angry, then what someone does, all they need to do, because you're angry, you're upset, it's usually an indication there's a thought in your mind that you've judged it in a way that you're totally upset and angry with it. So, my God, I'm so annoyed at what I'm seeing in my mind. So someone can come around to you and turn around and say, let's change this. Let's change the way that you're looking at this image inside your mind. Let's give you more information. So when the person starts to give you more information, all of a sudden, oh, I didn't think of it like that. I didn't see it that way. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. And before you know, this person that was in a certain way, you've changed the image that they've seen. And now the image that they've seen in their mind is less painful. It's less destructive. So the person's whole feeling inside themselves, because they had judged the situation as bad, they created pain within themselves. But as soon as you have changed that, now they don't feel so bad. It's like you've lifted the energy off them. You've lifted how they were thinking about the image that they saw within themselves. So because that was destructive and you now made that positive, they feel better just by changing the image that they see of themselves in their mind. So all we're trying to do every day is create better images and call them better day programs. That you're sitting there in a moment and you create an image in your mind of what you're going to do later on, what you're going to look forward to. And that keeps you going through. This is why someone says, try and remember why you're doing this. Because the idea of what you're doing is so that things are going to be better down the road later on.
But is it important then to set goals in life then?
With each goal is a potential disappointment. You're creating a destructive thing. Don't get me wrong, people will tell you that they need goals to go through, which I'm not disagreeing with. But literally, they need to create an idea, an image in their mind that essentially they're going to use that as an anchor to pull them through what they're going through. So a simple goal could be, when I get home, I'm going to eat my favorite food, or this or that. You find that, as they always say, you learn more on the journey than you do when you get to the destination. So people will set themselves goals, things they want to achieve, things they want to have, that they believe is going to make them happy. And to be fair, it makes them happy once they've achieved it, but you'll see within 5 minutes later, it's gone, isn't it? They need something else. I always say to people that you are your own drug dispenser. You're a junkie. You get an idea, and you so love the idea and the feeling of the idea, you're constantly trying to create it. That's the thing with a relationship. You look at someone, oh man, when you see them, you feel so good. That feeling that you get, that sensation that you get, it is actually like a drug. You crave it. You crave it. So you crave just seeing that person. You crave it. That's what it is. Because you feel so good when you see them, because you created the drug which you dispense within your body whenever you see them. Yeah? And we become addicted to the drugs. We're looking for this person or this thought or this food or this thing that's going to make us feel good.
Make us feel good, yeah.
Yeah, that's all everyone's looking for. Hence, this is why you call certain people when you're upset, because when you're speaking to them, their voice, their tone of voice, how it makes you feel is what you need right then. Yeah, and speaking to that, you'll speak to one person, oh, I feel good. Another person, you see them ringing, oh my God, I know how I'm going to feel after that. And you won't pick up the call.
That's right. Well, that come down to what? Vibration and energy now, really.
Well, no, because your body has to process everything. So everything in life is food. Everything is food. Yeah? A relationship is food. You're speaking to someone is food. Everything is like that. So therefore, if you were to ask a person, are you good food? When someone is around processing the idea of you, do they feel good? Are you easily digestible? Or are you one of those things that when people are dealing with you, you're a bit awkward? Which means they don't feel too great about it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah? Because there's certain people, you know, that they don't feel too good when you're about to talk to them. I said, oh man, you know how it is when you say you're not looking forward to speaking to someone. Why?
Yes, true. That's very true, you know.
Yeah?
Absolutely
Because you know that the energy when you have to deal with that person isn't great.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Okay.
Yeah? So everything is food, man. We're processing food and people all the time. And that is the reason why we're struggling all the time, trying to find some sort of peace. Because we're looking for new food. Looking for new food all the time. Yeah, if it be an idea, if it be a person, if it be a situation, if it be a job, if it be whatever, it's just the food. How we feel about ourselves, and then how we react after that. We physically feel after that.
Absolutely. Okay then.
Yeah, I'd just like to say it's called feedback. Yeah.
Right, that's a nice one.
You know?
Because people will does not sound great. Feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah? When someone's talking to you, what is the feedback?
Yes.
Because your body is going to feed itself based on what that person's saying, isn't it?
And
It's going to create a feeling based on what that person's saying.
The next thing I want to break down what you basically said, that everything's an equation, yeah?
Remember that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when you, cause that's what I got from you, but so when you say mentally, yeah, tally means when you're adding up something, you know?
Yeah.
So tally means when you're adding up something, and men means the vessel. Historically, man means vessel. So when you're adding up something for yourself and it don't work, that the sums don't add up, that's when your mind is tallying and the equation's not coming to the right conclusion, and this is what it is. The mind is overworking, or it hasn't got its sums right.
Yeah. I think, you know, what you said about the equation, because remember we had that conversation, but essentially, in line with what you just said, every time before you do anything, when you're speaking to someone, when you're about to do anything, you have to write a program.
Right.
Or you have to write an equation.
Right. So
how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Whenever you're about to talk to someone, what tone of voice am I going to use? What thing am I going to use? And then once you've basically decided on what action you're going to do, you have to write a program in order to complete the action, the instruction.
So basically, mentally means you're tallying up for yourself the program that you need to write to perform.
Yeah, you're looking at all the situations that you have to deal with.
And also,
and then once you've done the tallied it up, go on.
Yeah. Also, if the reasoning's taken out the picture, then whatever belief you have, then the behavior is what you put into place.
Well, your logic is based on your own personal experience.
Right.
So two people's logic is not the same because they've had two different experiences to get there. Yeah.
And the next thing is, so if I'm going to sell you a car, yeah, but I'm not engaging your logic, So what? When it comes to, if I give you a belief, yeah. So what I leave you be, you start. You have what you have what I've given you. Then, you know.
No, because that's a program.
Right.
That's why I say conversations are actually programmed.
Yeah. It's actually conversation. When you converse someone over, you change. You're trying to convert them to what you think.
Well, that's essentially it. You're changing their version, isn't it?
Yeah, you're changing their version.
Yeah, you're changing their version of their visual reality.
You're getting a conversion, like when you go to church and you get converted. So conversation is when I'm trying to change you over to give you my belief.
Exactly. So everything is a conversation. All I'm trying to do is change the image that you see in your mind and give you the version that I see in my mind.
And then once they got that, then you're gonna, as you said, you're gonna mentally, you're gonna calculate the program that you need to put the behavior in place to match the beliefs that you've been given.
So a good thinker is someone who writes good programs and write good equations. You know, if you haven't got an experience of a thing, your options are limited.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're new to a situation, you don't know how the parameters of how that thing works, what doesn't work. So you're naive. Someone looks at you and says, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing." He doesn't know. He hasn't got all the information he needs in order to write a good equation to dictate how he's going to act in that situation. So all of us are programmers. We're constantly creating the right program in our head all the time. And every act, before we even open our mind, open our mouth, we have to write the equation of how we're going to behave in that given moment. How are we going to behave?
So when you see someone fall down, they miscalculated the distance of their foot hitting the pavement, so they mentally made a miscalculation. So you look at it and say, what an idiot. What happened to them, man, there? You know? and that's because the tallying up that they done didn't create the correct behavior to the...
It didn't. Yeah. They didn't know what they were doing. Hence, they did what they did. They didn't read the situation. So they didn't put in the variables of the situation into the equation they were going to use to behave in that moment.
You see, I wish that, you know, we had this information, you know, as a youth, so you know that's why you really need to listen so you can get the right equations together so you can make correct calculations to enact the correct behavior, you know.
100%, because if you don't have it, you're in trouble. If you don't have the right equation, how do you deal with a situation? You don't. If you're going to go talk to a woman, you ain't got a clue how she thinks. What equation are you going to use?
And what is because they're working off belief and not reasoning. They're using an equation they saw in EastEnders, you know. And it worked for Phil Mitchell, but when it comes to reality, that equation don't work in our real life.
Well, that's exactly it. If you have no experience of those type of people, and you know there's local rules. Different people behave different ways in different situations, in different places.
The problem is because the ruling dynamic has a different melanin and psychological, physiological content to you. So when you're copying the behavior of someone whose makeup is not the same as yours and you try to apply it for yourself, it's not going to work in the same way.
Well, there's a simple thing, isn't it? Black men think different from black women, who think different from white men, who think different from white women. And whenever they approach a situation, they all approach it based on their experience and on how their mind has been designed. Yeah, because culturally, certain things don't work for us. And that's not because we're not smart. It's just because, what do you say? You don't go into a Indian shop to buy Chinese food, do you?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't blame him. You don't blame the guy saying, "I'm sorry, mate. You know, but I don't sell Chinese food in here. So you try to come here looking for Chinese food, it ain't gonna work." And a Chinaman prefers Chinese food because it's been built and created with his physiology in mind.
Right.
Because it's come from his place of origin. So the food and the way in which his physiology is, it prefers that kind of food.
But coming back to food, it's quite interesting you said that, because when you look at all race of people, right? If you look at the Chinese, the Asians, you know, Japanese, etc., doesn't matter where they go, right? If it goes another part of the doesn't matter where they go on this planet, they always have their food.
Of course, because their bodies work off their food.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and we're the one who just seems to want to gravitate to other people's food, but these people always have their food intact. You know what I mean? That's where they go.
Always.
They have them food.
Well, look, if you're seeing these proper sports people on swap of sports teams nowadays, they take their own chef. They take their own food wherever they're going. Not like the olden days where they would just eat local. They don't. They know how their body's designed, so therefore they eat food that enables them to actually get the optimum out of their body.
And I just want to just bounce in that, but slightly different. You wouldn't take a East Ender, a Cockney East Ender, to Africa to make him show you around Africa.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have a clue where he's leading you. You know.
No.
So the same reason, you wouldn't take someone who's created the problem for you and go to them for the solution. But that's what's happening, is we go to the person who's caused the problem or for our solution. You know, we look in the psychological books of the psychopath who's put us in the position for the solution, or we accept the psychopath's position remedy for the position that we're in.
Essentially, this is where we suffer with the education, because they are programming the children to only be able to accept their mental food. And when we later on come with all our African this, African that, the child's mind has always been wired to only accept information given to him by a different set of people. And as such, when the poor child can't find his own identity in his own mind, because this is what we said, the same thing, the Chinese and the Indian thing. His mind has been built in an Indian way, yet he's a Chinese man. It's going to go against his nature. The child is going to buck and ripple because the information is not taught in the way in which his mind can really digest it properly. So he has to memorize everything.
And that's another.
He has to memorize it because he doesn't naturally flow with it.
Okay.
And that's another reason why some children have a problem in the schooling, because they are picking up there's something ain't quite right with the information that they've been given, and they're being labelled a problem child, or be labelled that they can't process. There's a problem with them, or their abilities is not that great. But the thing is, they're picking up there's something ain't quite right, and they can't understand it because it's nonsense.
Well, there's no sense, and they can't go to the parent because the parent is suffering with the same madness. The parent's just going to say, go back and listen to the teacher. Yeah. You're not getting your programming properly. Yeah? The child, the parent in the school has programmed you to have a sort of inferior complex towards yourself.
Because even when when I went into to do the teaching course, and then the way they done the teaching, because my mind is working at a different rate, I found it very tedious and monotonous, and not actually getting to the source of facts, and my mind was actually rejecting what they was trying to teach me in the classroom, because it wasn't right, you know.
They working up the same way, like I said. Black man thinks different from black woman. He thinks different from a white man. He thinks different from a white woman. And the way they think different is really based on the images that they create within their mind and the rules by which they use to actually justify what they see. Yeah? So if someone lives in a world where they feel like they're a burden, where they feel like they're trying to always ask for permission. You know, we're all human beings. We all came into this world the same way. Someone has to make you believe that they're better than you. Even though they're a minority, they have to program your mind so that when you're young, before you can think or see anything, they've already cultivated everything and colonized you from there. You're colonialized, or whatever word. But they've literally gone in and put the images in your mind of how you see things. But you know deep down inside, it don't make sense. It ain't right.
And then the next dynamic is that you're born into it, just like a tame dog is born being tamed now. the next generation. So it feels uncomfortable with wanting to stand on its own 2 feet or going against its owner or master. And that's what we're like, because we've been born into this generation of working for somebody else. So it doesn't even feel right when you want to stand on your own 2 feet and define and optimize.
You've got no confidence.
Mm.
Because they ensured that you don't have confidence. They took all the better positions for themselves and told you have to work hard. Look, the funny thing is, a man of color, whenever he's walking into a room or any environment, unless he's amongst his own, he's worried that he may walk into a racist environment where he's going to be judged on his color and people are going to behave in a certain way towards him. And if they behave too outlandish, he's in a confusing spot. What do I do? Do I strike them or walk away? I need this job. I need the situation. So many people sit on how they feel and become something else when they're at work.
And if you're shown one thing, that becomes your memory. That's what you start to believe who you are. Because I was today I was looking at the Moors, looking at some things on the Moors. And after watching the Moors, how they dress, their style, and the high level that I started to feel like myself. I started to walk differently, trying to dress with style, because now that was my new memory source that, this is what we're really about, you see. So that's why it is important now to see your source of royalty and where you've come from. So then you start to trigger the gene in your body to bring out the genius in you.
This is why you see things like when Obama, he was good for America but bad for the racists. Because he created a dynamic where he showed that children can aspire to be anything. Yeah? So therefore, when he was about to go, because they needed him and they used him to change the world policy, to change how everyone saw America, and to literally take it from poverty into a good state. But after that had been done and he had to go back, they created a problem where they needed to create that racial imbalance that was there before. Because you're always in a scenario where the few can control the many if they have them afraid of them.
Right.
So they have to teach them the fear when they're children. So that's how the few, and then what happened was, the black people were bold, brazen, you know? They knew that they could become a president. They knew that they could do anything.
Anything, yeah.
And with the knowledge that they could do anything, can be anyone.
Anyone, yeah.
So therefore, when someone's coming to tell them something to the contrary, they're asking the correct question. Who are you? And what makes you think that you're better than me? And the man's looking at you like, I educated you to think that. If you don't think that, I have a problem now. That's why when you start communicating in a certain way, people ask you, where was you educated? Because that wasn't the program that they laid down to you.
Yes, right.
Yeah? You're not supposed to come out with those words. You're not supposed to come out with those situations. Then what they do is over impress you, over say you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're great. And after they've done that, they want to steal you away and keep you for themselves. Yeah?
Well, Edison,
because and then try and work out, where do you get that from? How do you do that? And all of a sudden, you're talking to someone who tried to educate you to make you believe that they're better than you when you're amongst them and challenging them. No, they're not better than you. They're just more capable of things that you're not.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a move. I just want to leave something with you to check out. The Hebrew word for fear is called Yare, which is Y-A-R-E. You know, the Hebrew word
Y-A-R-E.
No, Y-A-R-E. Yeah.
Okay.
Yare. Yeah. The Hebrew word for God is Yahweh.
Yeah. You know where that comes from?
Where?
There's a thing called the Tetragrammaton.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the 4 sacred words.
Right.
The Tetragrammaton. If you look in any occult book, you'll find it there.
Right.
Yeah? The Tetragrammaton is YHWH.
Y?
All HWH, I think it is.
Right, okay.
Yeah, all they did was add the vowel to that.
Right.
And then you got Yahweh.
Right.
Sorry, most things are hidden in plain sight. So these guys are clever. They ensure that you don't know you're following different gods when you're calling theirs.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is all about calling the right energy. And these guys are not. Sorry?
Because I'm just saying, summarizing it, I'm going to have to do more research. It just came to me today. Basically, they've created a god of fear. They've created something for you to fear, to hold your state in a static way.
My friend, look at it. Who do you fear more, God or the devil? Until you appreciate that concept, then you realize.
You rest my case, you solved the solution for it. I'm going to have to go, but that's a heavy one, because basically, they've created, the thing that we're worshipping is fear.
The devil
is fear.
I'll say today, every day, that the devil rules the world in the name of God.
Well, let me just say something. I mentioned it before briefly. Akhenaten was a bad boy. He got run out of Egypt. What he done? He created the concept of one, bringing things down to one, which is called monotheism.
Monotheism
is hypnosis. And it basically, when you bring something down to one, bringing something down is D, like denominate, deduce, deduct. D means to bring something down to one. One is monotone, monologue, monarchy. But so when you bring something down to one, demon. So when you're bringing something down, the church is talking about the one, and they're bringing it down. It's called demon. So basically, the church is creating the demon. It's bringing everything down to one. So the church is the demon creators. Thank you.
No, in honesty, we could go into all of that and then break that down, how the devil is really running it and how that concept was put. But isn't the word mon connected with moon?
That's it. That's where you get monster, and you get lunatic from as well.
Exactly. That's a lot of people don't appreciate that. The whole connection of the moon and the sea, and all those different things, and women's monthly cycles.
Yeah.
Because the old ancient or native
has got the mon in it as well. The one
so
month
many
is the
moon
mon.
nodes. Go ahead.
No, I said the month has got the mon in it as well. It's the mon.
Exactly. It's the month, because all the months were based on the moon. It was based on the moon concept. On how it was, you would have 13 full moons in what was classified as year. Yes, they used to say it was 13 months of the year. But that's literally where you get the whole concept from. And then 28 days, and then extra days were added here and there, because if you look at a circle, it's 360.
360, yeah.
So where do you get 365 then?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they worship, they added 5 days to the 5 planets that the Romans used to worship.
Right.
That's where you get the 365 from.
That's quite interesting. You said that. I didn't know that. That's quite interesting. Okay. Well, listen, Edison, we probably have to put a pin in it now, right?
No worries.
If you can just again give out your details, please. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. My name's Edison Igbanji. I can be found on Facebook, either by my name or go to the Facebook page Ancestral Essence. We also have a website, ancestralessence.com. My email address is edison@ancestralessence.com. And my mobile number is 07497 088138. I'll say that 079. I keep making that mistake. Sorry, 07497 088138. And they can contact me on that. Call me, leave a message. I'll come back to them. And yeah, we'll go through what we're trying to do on the course. literally all the things I've spoken of today, the things that we go through. We're just trying to make you a more understandable version of yourself and realize everything that you're seeing and they're doing outside is really just someone trying to program you. What do they say? Garbage in, garbage out? Go ahead.
Okay then. Edison, give thanks still, yeah?
No worries, Buggy. Take care.
Take care.
Jammers, take care, and we'll all catch up soon.
Yeah, we're going to catch up.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Every time.
All right, bye now. Bye. Bye.
Enlightenment. And how can we as human beings become more enlightened in our consciousness? I am saying that human beings have created this concept of God and devil. And within the fullness of the God and devil thing, it would appear that man attribute the negative aspect of himself to this devil. In the Western mindset, the devil is not human being and God is not human being. So the devil and God is something outside of man.
Spirit.
All right. Couldn't it be possible in order to reach and attain that perfection and enlightenment? Because we cannot reach, based upon what the secrets say, and based upon what we are now saying in terms of the enlightenment, we cannot reach that perfection if we maintain this negativity, this devil concept. We cannot reach it. For in order to move forward, we have to eliminate the devil concept, the negative concept. No, we cannot eliminate the devil concept because we have a God concept. And none of these two entities cannot do without each other. God cannot do without the devil can't do without God. I am saying, wouldn't it be better for the human psyche and the human consciousness in order to stop blocking them consciousness of enlightenment, eliminate God and eliminate the devil?
And believe in yourself.
That's what I'm asking. If you can, if the devil is part of the process of God, and God is a part of the process of devil, and the devil is blocking your consciousness, therefore God won't block your consciousness, because if you think on God, you have to think on the devil, according to where Aishama just said. Praying to and saying, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, is still bringing the devil inside of your consciousness. But you cannot eliminate the devil if God exists in your consciousness. So is that the question I put on the table? Yes, Betty.
Hey. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm shaking my head and it's amazing because the fact of the matter is, and I love my sister dearie.
So don't start apologizing. I don't say nothing.
You know that
I love my sister dearie. But
no, we don't come here
the idea of that Christian mindset that created a kind of, well, allowed for the creation of an understanding that for years has indoctrinated people into believing that there exists a physical
person
entity called a devil and a physical entity
called Jesus,
called God.
Yes.
Called God.
God, yeah.
And that in and of itself is the most destructive thing that religion and formal religion and Christianity even more so has done to hamper the development of human consciousness.
To create enlightenment. So hold
on. And I tell you why. Because what it has done is to say to people that this entity called God exists outside of yourself. You cannot have one, as the question you ask, if we have to get rid of God in order to get rid of the devil and vice versa. The fact of the matter is, Muto, is that there is no devil that's an entity like that. There is no God that there's an entity that's an entity like that. Okay. All that exists is us, the microcosm of a universe that has manifested itself in human form, and hence we are the God.
All right. So what your sister said about? What your sister say about?
you see, I'm not the normal.
You're not normal Christian.
I'm not the
You're not the normal Christian. All right.
Because I share sentiments like as what Betty said a while ago, right? You see, this whole idea of these ministers preaching this blood fire, hell devil situation, rather than teaching people about self-spirituality and realizing that God, the God that we speak about or the God that I speak about is within us, right? And whatever my actions is, I see that if you know, I'm not going to get up and say, oh, the devil made me do it. You understand? If I do something positive, then it's something, then I feel good.
Well, you say thank God. When you do something positive, you say thank God.
Yeah.
Then why if you do something bad, you don't say devil made me?
If you say, I still not want to say, oh, you know, it's as a human being, you understand? We tend to do positive things and negative things. And positive and negative is kind of irrelevant. It sometimes irrelevant, you know, because guess what happens? Sometimes what you perceive as positive is not what I perceive as positive.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
You understand what I mean? And what you perceive as negative is not what I perceive as negative. You
But when something happened to good, people say thank God. What is the purpose of saying that?
Because of what we have made to believe all of these years. You understand what I mean? That people tend not to sometimes look at self, as I said, self as maybe a God. Right? But as you said, that outer being that people, you know, expecting is like a lot of people who think to me, have the misconception that God is going to come out of the heaven one day.
Majority of people in the Western world
come out of the earth.
Well, it's not even God either, it's Jesus Christ.
You understand?
The majority of people in the Western world believe
most
that.
Christians don't really speak of God.
Yeah, them say Jesus Christ.
It's always Jesus Christ. They never make mention of God. They only make mention of God when they try to tell you that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Or God himself in flesh.
You understand?
Aisha Maswesha said.
Part of that is just being adult and being responsible, and nobody likes to be responsible for anything, right? Because if you have to grow up and you have to be responsible for what you do, then it means then that it kind of going to be scary, because if I do this and this happen, then it means I have to take responsibility for it. I'm going to have to say, these are my actions, and I'm going to probably have to do stuff to correct what it is that I did. If I just say, oh, it's God, is by the will, grace of God, you know, or is the devil why did it, then you're removing the responsibility from yourself and placing it on something else. As you said, the external, the belief in that external thing that is God, that is the devil, it is placing the responsibility somewhere else. So when they say that, oh, if a child that is just born, or if the child is baptized and then they go straight to heaven, because as a child you are not responsible for what it is that you do, and it is that escape from responsibility as much as possible that is causing people to be clinging on to this physical thing of God and physical thing of the devil, instead of just saying, it's me that is. I was thinking this and I acted on what I was thinking and I wanted this and I went and I did this, instead of saying.
So you just say no. So what to the point where Almila and Almila and
Carol.
I don't want to call it. What the part where Almila and Carol say, look here, she is a Buddhist, do our chant, Almila biblical Christian prayer, and Kingston, come here to make emphasis on Kingston. Kingston never get leaked because Jamaica didn't get the leak. It's just that the people like Kingston never get it. So, Aisha Maura said that.
Mother Nature decides what she wants to do.
So is that the money, our Father, please let move?
No, because I'm sure, whatever they want to say about Haiti, right? No matter whatever they want to say about Haiti or whatever, or what they want to say about Cuba, or what they want to say about St. Elizabeth, where it actually hit in the first place. The fact of the matter is,
yes, just to listen to the reasoning with the great man Muta Baruka, talking about the God and the devil concept. So it's quite interesting when you hear those kind of reasoning. Okay, in about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to hear from Geraldine, who will be talking, sharing some information about health and she's coming in right now. Greetings, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening, Dougie. How are you?
Yeah, you sound loud and clear and powerful. That's fantastic.
Good, good.
Okay, then. So again,
Yeah.
Jerry, we need to big you up for a fantastic presentation you done Monday. You really was on fire, you know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It'd be wise just to let people know exactly what you was talking about Monday.
Okay, well, essentially, I'm a medical missionary, and what a medical missionary does is to teach biblical health. I'm getting feedback. Is that because I've got a speaker on?
Have you got the what have you got?
I haven't got the radio on.
All right, turn the radio down. The best if you turn the radio down.
Okay.
Turn it right down. Then you won't get no feedback.
Maybe because I've got my speaker.
Yeah, could be that. Turn it down.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay. I'm just essentially telling you what a medical missionary does, because a medical missionary actually teaches biblical health.
Okay.
And I specifically focus on the 8 laws of health, which are nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God. So those 8 principles are the principles of health. Okay.
Okay then. And how long you've been teaching these principles for? How many years? Or
Well,
months,
for about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially more than that really, because I was working with my mother, who had Alzheimer's. She had Alzheimer's for 14 years, in fact, and I nursed her until she passed away in 2011. But I had my own ministry, which is the Sanctuary, which I started out in Dalston. In fact, I had a little shop down there, doing consultations and teaching the 8 laws of health. So that I still do, but obviously I'm a trained nurse, so I was working as a nurse for quite some time. I have 37 years of nursing, in fact, and I went back and forth from my ministry to do nursing, but currently I'm doing full-time medical missionary work. So essentially it's teaching good nutrition, and good nutrition is teaching people that not everything that we put in our mouth is recognized as the body as food. Most of what we put inside of our mouths actually is not recognized as food, and that's why we end up getting sick. You know, cancer is actually the complete breakdown of the body systems, and when you end up with cancer, it's because you've been abusing the body for so long that it can no longer cope with the assault. So the body is constantly trying to repair itself. That's how it's designed. God designed it that way. So we're not really meant to get sick, but because we constantly same bad lifestyle choices, the body eventually has to succumb. And so we add insult to injury by then adding poisons to the system, which we call medicines, which actually don't help. What they do is they push the disease somewhere else in the body, and later on it will come out, either as another disease or in a much worse condition than you had before. So this is what we've been taught. You know, we've learned, it's learned behavior, but it's not something that we used to do from a child, because as a West Indian, we taught natural remedies, and that's how my parents raised me. You know, most of us who you know, coming from the Caribbean or Caribbean descent knew something about natural remedies originally, and ate more healthfully than we do now. But because of Western lifestyle, we've unlearned the things that we thought were maybe primitive, and now we've gone on to eat as the Romans do, because when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So unfortunately, it does not give for a good, healthful life, and many of us are suffering behind that because of appetite.
Right. So tell me something. When we look at things like diabetes, let's focus around cancer, like bowel cancer and liver cancer and that stuff. I mean, what advice would you give to someone who's on the verge of cancer? You know,
Okay. Well, cancer, as I said, is a complete breakdown of the body systems. It's when the body can no longer anymore. It can't do anything else. It just has to succumb to what you have done to the body in terms of lifestyle and diet. So the first thing you have to do is start rebuilding the immune system. Now, the systems of elimination are the skin, the lungs, the bowel, the stomach, the liver. And when you start to repair the system, you have to look at all those organs that you've, been assaulting for so long. One of the main ones is the liver, because the liver, everything passes through the liver for screening.
Right.
So before it's even excreted from the body, all the poisons are taken through the liver, because the liver is a factory of the body. It actually breaks down all the toxic waste. So when your liver finally goes, there really is no hope, because once the liver, you can only have one liver. So, if the liver goes, you really haven't got much hope. So you have to start by repairing the bowel, the liver, and getting back into putting things in the system that will start to nourish the body. But you also have to detoxify the body. So the first thing I would do is start to do a detox. Clean out the bowel, just by doing some herb teas. You can start by doing that. That will soften the encrusted fecal matter that is still in the bowel system, and then by doing enemas, you can remove all of that waste out. Okay, so it's a process, but if you persistently work at it, you can actually reverse all that disease that's taken place in the body and cause the body to break down. So yes, cancers can be reversed if you catch them early enough, and if you're willing to put the work in that is necessary and required in order to reverse the illness, because it does take time.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I remember I had a conversation with Dr. Le Africa, and one of the things he was saying that we should be constantly cleansing especially the liver and the kidney, because that's like the factory of the body,
That's right.
Yeah, he's always saying things like milk thistle and etc. You need to take it on a regular basis.
Even turmeric. Turmeric is one of the natural seasons that we use when we're doing, maybe curries and so forth. But actually, turmeric is one of the best liver cleansers.
Right.
So drinking turmeric every day is a very good practice, even if you're not, already sick, because by the time the body gets sick, it's kind of too late to start to do all that repair, because it takes a long time to repair the system again. So making it your habit of drinking things like turmeric is very, very good. On a daily basis, you can take a teaspoon of turmeric in warm water.
Okay then.
And that helps the liver, supports the liver.
That helps the liver, yeah?
Yeah. But the additional thing is that you must take bitters in your system, yeah? I think every nation outside of Western diet actually takes bitters. If you look at the Mediterranean diet, the West Indian diet, Africans, the Asians, they all eat something bitter. Bitter fruit or bitter vegetables, bitter leaf, greens, all those things, actually help and assist the liver, because once you start taking bitters into the system, it automatically supports the liver. The liver needs bitters in order for it to function effectively. Yeah, so cerasee, I think in Jamaica, most people take cerasee, and other parts of the Caribbean, they'll take something else. I remember I grew up on this herb that we call liquid of life. All right, it was actually, it was a compendium of different herbs, but the main component was wormwood. And wormwood is a very bitter herb that most people wouldn't want to try. But I remember as a child trying to get rid of that taste from my mouth. It's very difficult. Even if you had a boiled sweet, you couldn't get rid of it, but because it's so bitter. But that's what keeps us well till now. For me, I'm 60 now, so if I had maybe not had this diet, I probably would have succumbed into so many different illnesses. But because of the diet that I had as a child growing up, and because of the bitters that my parents put in, because of the enemas and the laxatives that we took during the 6 weeks holiday, that all helped to make me the woman that I am today, because I don't suffer from colds, I have no illnesses to speak of, and I stay relatively well,
Right.
and that's because I'm a vegetarian, one, and because I use bitters on a regular basis, and I make sure that my system doesn't become backed up. I make sure I'm eliminating effectively all those things, drinking sufficient water. We need to drink at least 3 liters of water a day. Now, if I find myself getting sluggish, what I do, I start taking some aloe vera. And aloe vera is a beautiful bitter that you can take, which quite easily remedies the body. It's just designed to heal the system. If you put aloe vera on the outside, it works just as effectively, because if you have a burn and you put aloe vera on it, it works as an anesthetic. If you have a cut, it will heal over that cut. But so you imagine inside of the body, it can do a great job of healing also. Yes. There are many healing herbs that we are not aware of that can be used quite readily.
In terms of fasting, obviously fasting is again is a very powerful tool I would use to help one's well-being.
Yes.
Can you give us some advice about fasting, and how often do you fast, and and how long?
Yeah, I do fast.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just about to go into a 3-day fast. I've not long had a fast. I came back from Wales on Monday, just before, and Sunday actually, before I did the program on Monday. And we spent time doing detox. So I didn't eat any bread. I didn't do any sweets, no sweets at all, eliminating all the things that are prone to cause us to affect the immune system in an adverse way. So I was on a lot of juices, raw foods, and so for 2 weeks that's what I was doing. So that's the kind of a fast, by removing all the foods that generally titillate the taste buds. Then sweet things, sugary things, things that are starchy, removing all those. That is a form of a fast automatically, because you're removing from the system the things that the bodies succumb to, that they readily aspire to, because we like to eat sweets. Sweets are one of the things that we have a hard time overcoming, because they cause cravings when you remove them. So eliminating them actually automatically is a fast. But one of the best fasts to do is a 3-day fast.
Is a 3-day?
And that 3-day fast, if you do it dry, assuming that you are already in fair health, okay, you cannot do it if you're on medications and so forth. I wouldn't advocate it, because you may have some adverse reaction to it. But doing a dry fast, meaning from sunset, the day that you want to start, right through to 3 days later, just completely dry without any water, is an essential fast if you really are sick and you find yourself not repairing very well. Then you do a dry fast.
So why, I don't understand. So why a dry fast?
Because what you're doing is you deny the physical to evoke the spiritual. So it's a prayerful fast. When I'm fasting that way, I must be in a spirit of prayer. So I spend those 3 days talking to God with my Bible, reading my Psalms, and just generally spending time in prayer with God 3 times a day. So just as you take your medication 3 times a day, I pray 3 times a day. So during that fast, I'll have a fasting from food and have a season of prayer, just completely alone with God. Or you can do a 24-hour fast on water.
Okay.
You can do up to 7 days on water alone. Essentially, people have got up to 40 days on water alone. I wouldn't advocate doing more than 3 days in a dry fast, but you can go quite a long way on water alone, but you have to build yourself up to do that, because it takes time to discipline yourself in that way. But a 24-hour fast, if you are somebody who is prone to put on a lot of weight, doing a fast at once a week is a very good discipline, okay? Because if you eliminate food for 1 day, you actually give the stomach organs a rest. Once the digestive organs are resting, the body is automatically resting. Because what we do, we've learned to eat so wrong. We eat and drink together. That's one mistake we make. We eat at the wrong times. That's another mistake we make. And we eat too frequently. Okay, so if you're eating, to eat correctly, you actually have to give your body 4 to 5 hours in between your meals. So if I start eating at 7, my next meal should not be before 12. Okay, so at least if you're doing 3 meals a day, you would have your breakfast at 7, your lunch maybe at 1, and then your final meal should not be any later than 6 o'clock. Okay, so 3 meals a day means that you have 3 meals 5 hours apart. If you're having 2 meals a day, you might want to stretch it out a bit more, so to maybe 6 hours, but still trying to maintain it so that you don't eat any later than 6, because when we eat later than 6, it generally means that you're getting to bed later, and then if you get into bed at 10 o'clock, you need 4 hours at least so you can digest that meal. Okay. By 10 o'clock, you should be looking to, to go to bed, because I know it's going to sound foreign to a lot of people, because most people are climbing to bed 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning these days. But what we do is we deny the body the opportunity to properly repair. Okay, so at night time between 10 and 3 is the hours when your liver is repairing, and most of the body systems are resting. So your digestive system should be resting then. When the digestive system is resting, you can actually have a good night's sleep. But what you'll find, if you eat late, you'll find that you start to have nightmares. You end up with indigestion. You end up not having the good repair that you should have overnight, because during that time when you should be repairing your liver, repairing your other body systems, your stomach is still churning over the food that you just ate, and it's never a good thing. So you will not rest until your stomach is rested.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. So listen, my sister, I want to give out your details. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's 07465 777 828, and it's Geraldine, and my ministry is The Sanctuary, and my emphasis or my motto is healing for the nation. Okay, so I'm striving to heal not just the elderly, not just the infirm, but the whole of the human race, really, young and old. Trying to get people back into normal living and to healthful living, so they can enjoy the years that we now are having. We're having a lot, maybe 15 more years than our forefathers had, but we're not enjoying those years.
Absolutely
So
right. I'm
we
not
need
enjoying
to
them at all.
start enjoying our old age, and not spending those years suffering.
Right. Okay then. So listen, my sister, give thanks for your contribution.
Amen. Glory to God.
You're truly a warrior among us. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. All right then. Give
Well,
thanks.
fine.
All right then. One love, my sister.
So blessings to your congregation. Okay. Your audience.
Give
All
thanks.
right. Have a good evening.
Same to you. Give thanks, my sister.
All right. You too.
One love.
Bye-bye.
Okay then. That was Geraldine. She's a health warrior, and trust me, she really was on form the other day at the HCVS, Hackney Community Voluntary Service, and just really. Anyway, expecting a phone call from Tony Warner, who'll be phoning in about 5 minutes. So we're gonna gear up for him to ready to come in upon us. Also in the house we have Auntie Jean as well.
Why am I talking to him? Well,